great catch. I'm a great wife. I'm a great this. And it's like, that hasn't been validated.
All these single girls are yours too. I don't know.
The one thing that I'm seeing is that when you're dealing with a grown-ass man,
There it is.
he has a vision and a purpose for his life.
Facts.
What he wants in the future. And what I see is that a lot of these modern women don't want to fall into and play their part in that purpose and in that vision because they have their own purpose and their own vision.
Great catch. I'm a great wife. I'm a great this. And it's like, that hasn't been validated.
All these single girls are yours too. I don't know.
The one thing that I'm seeing is that when you're dealing with a grown-ass man,
There it is.
he has a vision and a purpose for his life.
Facts.
What he wants in the future. And what I see is that a lot of these modern women don't want to fall into and play their part in that purpose and in that vision because they have their own purpose and their own vision.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to Candid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe on deck tonight. Say what's up to the people, Chloe.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Man, happy Wednesday. Halfway through. Shout out to Wednesday. Well, let's say shout out to everybody joining us tonight. Definitely hit that like button for us. Hit that share button as well. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. So let's definitely share out the show. We want to get this show to as many of our people as possible so that we can have these great conversations and move our people forward. So let me check in on my panel. How's your week been so far, Chloe?
It's been good. Interesting, but good.
Okay. All right. Interesting it is. Well, I said, everybody joining. Let's say drop a comment. Let us know you're here. I said, we appreciate you guys always rocking with the platform. Let me do this real quick while I'm thinking about it. Let me see. I got to get it together over here. All right. So here's the link to the panel. So you can drop this in your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge. You can drop it on your Apple device and join us up here on the panel. Like I said, don't be scared. You do have the ability to cut your camera off if you choose, but we always encourage you to keep it on for a better show, better engagement. So yeah, I got this link in all of the chat feeds, so you can catch it at the Candid Konvos page on YouTube and Facebook, or you can shoot me a message and I'll send it right over to you. But let's say we are definitely live right now on YouTube and Facebook, so definitely join us on the panel as we get into this conversation. I don't know if Vince is hopping on tonight. We'll see. But I don't know. You wanna get on into this? What you think?
I'm ready. Ready when you are.
Okay. Well, I guess we can get on into this conversation. So I'm gonna drop this link down for a minute. So if anybody needs the link, drop a comment and we will get you the link. All right. Let me see. I think we have some folks checking in. Let me see what we got over here. See Kenyatta in the building. She said, happy Wednesday. Appreciate you, Kenyatta, always checking in, rocking with the platform. Happy Wednesday to you as well. All right. So we'll go ahead and drop this topic, and then we're going to get on into the conversation. Like I said, we might touch a couple tonight. I see See how we feeling. We might touch a couple. We got comments coming in. Let's see. What was that? Stuff over here tripping today.
Okay. You need that link. You need that link, Shantae.
Yeah, Shantae, you let me know if you need that link. Well, shout out to Shantae checking in with us. Let's see. We also got Donovan in the building. He said, hey, I'm here. What's going on with you, brother? Appreciate you. Yeah, Shantae, I might have to send you that link. So you let me know if you're ready. So he also said, good evening, everybody. For sure. We appreciate it. All right. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and get on into this conversation. I see we got a chunk of people on here right now. Oh, she said, go on and send it. Oh, she just going.
She ready. She stay ready.
She just come right out the gate, huh? Okay, Shantae. All right, I got you. You ain't got to tell me more than once. I got you. All right. So we're going to go and get on into this topic. So, topic for tonight. Your skin is too dark. Let me run that back. Topic for tonight. Your skin is too dark. Yeah, I don't know this topic right here. I don't know. It's doing something right now. Let's see. Shout out to my guy Vince in the building checking in. He said, hey, family, I'm listening to Holding the Baby. Might get on later. No doubt. Appreciate you, brother. So we know you over there doing your thing. We appreciate you checking in. Let's see, Shantae jumping in. What's going on with you?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, how you doing tonight? You all right?
I'm okay. You ain't played the video, did you?
No, I'm about to do it right now.
Okay.
All right, you right on time. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, y'all gonna give me your thoughts on this one. Let's see. We're gonna see how this go. This might get a little interesting. So yeah, topic for tonight. Your skin is too dark. All right, so let me go and kick this off.
Black man that genuinely desires a dark-skinned woman has been interesting, right? Because every Black man I've dated, their type was always exotic, meaning light skin, curly hair. Like, that's not exotic.
Green eyes.
Hello, she's just mixed, babe. She's just mixed. That's been my experience. But I'm someone who dates outside of my race. I date inside. I date all around. You know what I'm saying? If you fine, you fine. But my experience in dating like European men or white men or just mixed race men or men of different cultures just treat women differently. I've never had to worry about like maybe this man desires a lighter skinned woman when I'm dating outside of my race, or when I'm dating a Black man that genuinely desires a dark skinned woman or loves a dark skinned woman.
Okay, topic for tonight. Your skin is too dark. All right, so we got the young lady on there on the video. Let's drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Anybody out, anybody viewing or watching us right now? So the young lady is saying that it is hard to find a Black man who genuinely wants to date or is attracted to a dark-skinned woman. She then goes on to say that she dates all different types of men or all different races of men, and when she dates essentially Caucasian men, they have no issue with the shade of her skin. So yeah, interesting video. This video came my way. I said, okay, I think this is worth a conversation. So here we are right now. So anybody in the comments, I'm gonna go to the panel first as always. What do y'all think about this video? What did y'all see? Is she making sense? Is she not? I don't know. I got two ladies on here. I need the fellas to be ready to represent. Yeah, Vince, I needed you, bro. But I want to see what y'all say, ladies. What y'all tell me what y'all think about that video. Just what come to mind?
I mean, first and foremost, I do think this is, I know there's a few gentlemen in the comments. I would love to hear you guys' take just in general, right? Because I'm going to say historically speaking, and obviously I can only speak in general terms because obviously I don't know every person alive. But I mean, I don't know. I can see why she might say that because first of all, I thought she's very pretty, but I can see why she might say that because I don't know, you guys. Like, it's the same thing with women. Like, when we start to talk about our top three or our top five, let's just say we're using celebrities as an example. In that top three or in that top five, you might have one. You might have one dark skinned guy in that group. But for the most part, they're brown or light. They just are.
Mm.
And I just think we have to be honest about that. Like that ends up being a preference. So maybe some of the reason why she feels like that is because we do have a colorism issue in our community. Like, we are not going to sit up here on this platform and act like we do not have a colorism issue. Like, we don't have a texturism issue in our community, because it would be a lie. We literally built uh, a whole entire look or category natural for this very thing. And then we built a whole natural hair movement. And then in that natural hair movement, we had texturism. Sorry, y'all. We had texturism inside that movement. So, like, if you couldn't get your curls to look a certain type of way, they even typed your curls. You got 4A curls, you got 4C, 4B, 3A, 3C, B51. Like, they literally did that so that you could identify basically how kinky your hair is.
Right.
And then they gave you products that weren't straighteners, but could define your curl so it would be less kinky.
Right.
So I'm just over here like, let's call a thing a thing. Let's really call a thing a thing. We do have a colorism issue in our community. We do have a texturism issue in our community. So I'm sure she does feel like that. And I'm sure there have been men who have made her feel like that.
Mm.
So, I mean, debate me.
Okay. Go down here to Tay. Tay, what's going on? You ready? Let me see what you say. What you think about what she was
ready.
saying?
So it is layers to this. I think that colorism is a issue in our community because I am a part of that problem. And then I also think that it's along the lines of opposite attract too. When you see people, brown skinned men usually like lighter skinned women. Lighter skinned women usually like darker skinned men. I'm just saying, it's like 8 times out of 10. Me, I prefer the blacker, the berry, the sweeter the juice. You know what I'm saying? I like them nice and dark, and I be the one. This one the problem because I be the one will say a light skinned guy take longer to get dressed than me. I'm that type of person. Like, when somebody call me light skin, I'd be like, no, I'm not. Or somebody call me red, I'd be like, baby, no, I'm not. I am brown skin. I do not like to call that because of the what's said behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Like, now if I was because I have yellow and brown undertones, okay? I do not have red undertones. Okay, that's what it is. I'm warm, okay? And it's just about preference. You know what I mean? My mom, she liked a darker shade of brown. No, I mean, I think it's just, and then when you see men with dreads, you see a lot of men with dreads and they be with white women. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they not with a black woman, then they.
Lost you, boo.
Oh, well, here she comes.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So I think that it is a colorism, but then on the other, so it's like 50-50 to me. Definitely colorism. Yeah, because what I prefer, you know what I mean? What I just be thinking about personal, but you do see, I mean, my man's Remy and Vince. You know what I'm saying? He a browner skin. It's just be like opposites attract sometimes. It just is what it is, But the opposites attract is for the public. The colorism is for our community. You know what I mean? So I think that's just what it is. Because even, I don't know. But I do be feeling a certain type of way when people call me of a lighter skin, because it's all kind of stuff. And then I don't like when they call, like when they call light skinned people like, yeah, because your people, they was house Negroes. I hate that. You know what I'm saying? You just reminded me that the slave owners used to rape the women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear that.
I feel you. No, I feel that.
Shoot. So that's why I think that I kind of like disattach myself from, when it comes to colorism. Like, I'd rather not talk about it at all. But I don't like if somebody's like, oh, hey, Red, I don't like that.
Okay. No, I feel that. I'm gonna come to Vince real quick. I'm gonna get some of these comments, then I'm gonna come to you, Vince. And then also to Nadia. Nadia, I saw you was trying to join. Rejoin if you can. Like I said, it looked like you weren't fully connected. So see if you can rejoin again. And I'll get you up on the panel. That's to Nadia if you're still watching. All right, so let me get some of these comments, then I'm gonna go to Vince. Let's see what we got. Donovan said, not sure which way to go on this one. I've met every color of the spectrum. I've seen good, bad, and ugly in every shade. Okay, I hear that. Let's see. He also said, I do know some very fair complected snooties. Okay. He also said, let's see. He said, I know some dark humblies. Guess Donovan, let's say he know a little bit of something, anything over here, I see.
Okay.
Let's see. Donovan also said, let's see, I know quite a few who prefer to date their opposite complexions, not saying race, just complexions. Okay. Let's see. He also said, in reality, the melanin in all of us stems from shades of copper. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got Rose Jones. How you doing, Rose? Appreciate you joining us tonight. She said hello. Let's see. We got Nadia. She said the browser won't allow me to join with the mic camera. Nadia, what type of device are you using? Are you coming through like a Windows device over Chrome, or are you trying to use an Apple device? Because I know Apple devices can be a little different. So
if she's an Apple device, she just has to use Safari as her browser. She won't be able to use Chrome.
Okay.
So if you are using Apple, then you need to use Safari. Chrome won't let you do it.
Okay. So Nadia, let's see, you got to use Safari. So hit that link, come through Safari, and it should let you in. And then I can get you up on the panel. Let's see. And Rose Jones, she said, wonderful. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Like I said, we always appreciate our new joiners to the show or new supporters of the show. So definitely shout out to you. All right, let me go down to my guy, Vince. So Vince,
how y'all doing this evening?
Hey,
doing well, brother. Doing well. How you doing, man?
Good. Had to put the baby boy down, so.
I understand. I thought you said you was listening, man. You had to
I
get
was
up on here,
listening,
man?
but I had to jump on. I seen the bad signal, so I had to put my cape on. Bad signal was going out, so I said, "Oh, they need me. They need me."
Ain't nobody throw no black hat up. That's the new bat signal. Throw the black hat up.
And my wife was cleaning the kitchen. She was like, "Go ahead."
I saw Remy drop that comment. Let's say she must have checked in at some point. I saw her drop that comment on there.
I said, don't bother me on Wednesdays between 8:30 and 10:30.
No doubt, man. So you want to say something? You need me to run it back, or did you see it?
No. I've seen it. And I was thinking that colorism is very real, especially in our community.
Right.
Going back to slavery and Jim Crow, and the lighter you were, the better treatment that you would get. Some could pass and have a better life.
Right.
But the crazy thing, if you look at other races of people, I have friends that are Mexican, and they even have that in their communities. The lighter skinned Mexicans, some of them even consider themselves to be white. So it's just not just in our community, but also you want to say, well, how does she feel if a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman?
Good question.
Since she's white, and that's the standard of beauty for the white community, how does she feel about that?
Good question.
Does she feel a certain way about that? And then also, I just think, sometimes things are internalized, because that's just like, I'm a short guy. I'm 5'7".
Right.
Most women say they want a guy that's 6 feet tall. So I can internalize that, and every 6 foot brother that walked past with broad shoulders, I can be like, oh, So I think it's all about preference. I think it's stereotypes. Because, I mean, just like I was telling somebody, hands down, Black women, period, are the most beautiful women in the world.
Facts.
So I think that just might be an internal thing with her and how she feels about herself.
Okay. I hear that. Is that Nadia? Nadia, how are you? Are you muted right now?
I'm
There you
good.
go. Good. Is
I'm
it
good.
working
Can you
good
hear
for
me?
you? Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. No, it sounds good. Sounds good.
No, on my end, I get a lot of feedback. I'm hearing everybody twice.
You
Not on
got
my end.
do you have the show playing somewhere else, like on another device?
Oh, you know what? I was trying to.
Yeah, just mute that other device and it
I
should clear
did.
up the feedback. Did that do it?
Well, come back to me because I got to find my.
Okay. No problem. Uh-oh. I keep
Quick
losing you.
question.
I keep losing you, Shantae. Is your signal bad out there?
No, I'm okay.
Okay,
Can
go
you
ahead.
hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask Vince. The people that he dated before, were they of a lighter skin complexion? Most
I
of the
would
people.
say I've dated all colors. I've never dated a white woman.
No,
And
that's
that's
right.
only because the white woman that I would prefer is a beautiful white woman. So I don't know if I really it was in those areas to have a beautiful white woman.
I ain't never seen one of them. I mean, I've seen some pretty ones.
I
No, I
mean,
done
like
seen some pretty white ones. I'm not saying like that. I
Scarlett
ain't never seen
Johansson
beautiful
type
like,
white woman.
Oh,
You know, like a Scarlett Johansson type white woman.
oh.
Not no Roseanne Barr white woman.
Mm-mm.
You know, maybe,
I don't know where this conversation went.
Hey,
I was just
I
asking.
bring it like, but
she asked the question.
But I was thinking opposite of what the young lady was saying, because as a lighter skinned woman, what if he's just dating me because of society? What if he really does want to be with a darker skinned woman? So what she's saying is the opposite. Like she feel like they would rather be with a lighter skin, when sometimes, I mean, if I had that insecurity, I might have would have thought opposite though.
Okay. No, I can understand that. So I wanted to pose this, right? So I saw the video, and the young lady, she said two things that I think are important, and I wanted to kind of drill into. So the first thing that she said, that she dates outside of her race. And my question to that is, I wonder if she is running into a situation where some fellas know that she dates outside her race, and because of that, they don't rock with her. Yeah, I'm just curious, because I know that, you know what I'm saying, and I've heard before that we have some sisters out here that do not rock with certain dudes. And call it what it is. They don't rock with certain dudes who date white women. Yeah, so I'm wondering if some of that is going on, you know what I'm saying, or some of that this young lady is experiencing as well. Are there brothers out here who don't rock with her because she dates white men?
I like to say something to that. I think
Go ahead.
most people date people that are in their circle.
Okay.
I know now, since some of us on this feed are probably in very diverse communities, whereas when we were growing up, I mean, I didn't have a relationship with anybody white until I got to college.
Right.
You know, we played them in basketball and football, but it was no interaction. My neighborhood was all black. My friends was all black. My school was all black. So, but I couldn't say if maybe it was 50% of other. Like my sons go to a school that's very diverse. You have white, Chinese, Asian, everything from very early on. So you're going to kind of date who you're around.
Right.
You know, I think that's how it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
He right, Quasi, because think about it. A lot of the people we went to high school with, they ended up marrying black women. A lot of the white guys, you know, made beautiful.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Nice men, and I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what they did because they were around, but I don't know. Maybe they fell in love with the culture, you know, growing up with us, or you know, because I feel like we were the majority, so it was kind of just like. It was diverse, but it wasn't diverse like that. We just had it sprinkled. But the ones that we did have was cool. You know what I'm saying? Because these are people that's, you know, essentially moved out to Southfield in the 80s, you know, 88, 89.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we had white neighbors. But once we started, you know, once black people started moving into Southfield more and more, I feel like they respected us because they felt like, hey, they can afford to live here. Because us growing up, I grew up around white people and never experienced the Karen. You know what I mean?
True.
So I think that definitely has something to do with it. But I think that black women, even if we did go to an all-white school, if you're a black woman and you love black men, you gonna go get you one. You know what I mean? Even if that means going to a different school, you know, or dating a guy at a different school. But if you don't want, if you not turned on, or you know, just because you grew up around that person, if that's not what you like, then I don't know. I think women, I don't know, because I'm a woman, so I don't know about men, what y'all do, because I think men are kind of just date whatever. Not saying date whatever, but you know. But if a black woman love a black man, you can't tell us nothing different, and we ain't going nowhere else.
I like how you slid that in there like that. I heard that.
You can't make this shit up.
I heard that. Vince, you want to say something? I'm gonna go to. No, I want to let Nadia get into. Actually, let me
I
try.
just don't think so. I think because I have a very close family friend that has her mother and father in the home, very close to her black father, but they moved to a little town in Indianapolis, and she was the only black child in her class from elementary school to high school. I mean, she don't date nothing but white guys, and I can kind of understand that because that's all she's been around. She lived around them. She went to school with them, so it's easier said to. But when that's all you have available, that's like somebody who grew up in the hood saying, "Well, you know, I had to sell drugs or I had to do crime." It's all you know. That doesn't make it right, but if that's what you're around, if that's what you acclimated to, then that's what you're gonna do.
Okay, no, I feel that. All right, Nada, you ready? You want to say something?
I got it working now.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm on my work computer. I'm on my work computer because my cell phone won't do this. So if I get fired tomorrow, y'all know why.
Uh-oh, we have to do a GoFundMe.
Yes.
Everybody got them GoFundMes going on.
Right. Okay. So,
right.
so I'm from Southfield. That's what I said. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to Vegas in '93 was a huge culture shock because I was probably one of 4 or 5 black people in my class. Mm-hmm. So, you know, style is different. Everything is different out here. You know, it's just different overall. So for me, I've dated all races. I don't have no prejudices. Yeah, I prefer black, but if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. I find FICO scores are higher on the other side. I'm just kidding.
Wait.
Y'all know I got you.
That's a whole new topic.
Well, they do take your zip code. Well, I used to do mortgages, and they do take your zip code into consideration when they put in your credit score, your address, your zip code.
I'm not surprised at all.
That might be true.
Insurance algorithm. That is not part of your algorithm.
Hold on. I'm not about to let that slide. Nadia, hold on.
What?
How you gonna come in and take that jab? How you gonna take a jab at the brothers right out the gate? I caught that.
Listen, hey, I gotta call a spade a spade. I'm just saying. But
wow.
but there is a marked difference though. I will tell you this, because at 43, how do I put this?
We keep it real. Just say it.
It's a real show. Go and put it out there.
I find that the approach and just the treatment of black women is different among races. White men do approach very differently than Black men do. They're more, in my opinion, very respectable and respectful in their approach. It's not a, hey girl, let me holler at you type of thing. It's a, hey, how you doing? You know, I just noticed you from across the room and you're really pretty. And you know, it's just that. It's the level of maturity. I'm sorry, but it is. That's the way it is here. I'm sure it is in Detroit because I got family still there. So don't take it there. But it's different. It is very different. And we go back to the point that me and Vince argued about, which is the difference in households and the way people are raised. More of your other cultures, such as white, are going to have their fathers in their household. It's true. They're going to see the way that they treat their mothers, whether they're respected or not. And they're going to treat their potential dates usually the same way. It's just a very different treatment. I find that more older Black men will hold doors, will pull out chairs. White men will do that all the time. Younger Black men are like, you got hands? What?
Wow.
Okay.
Wait a minute. What?
Okay.
She date them. So I'm listening. I don't date them, so I don't know.
Who dates who? I missed a lot because I was stuck. I missed a lot.
Okay, but wait a minute. I don't disagree with your assessment. So right off the bat, I don't disagree with your assessment. But I have to ask, just being fair, do you think that part of the divide that we see between men and women in the Black community has caused, or I would say has played a part in the younger generations, male and female, coming after us, has played a part in the lack of respect between the two, right? Like, I feel like there's just not that level of consideration that used to be had, like in the generations before us. And even in our generation, I feel like we still have some of that, right? Where there was just a certain common courtesy. We don't really see that in the generations after us. And I just wonder if it's just a part of that divide that has just gotten larger and larger. And let's just be honest, like, can I agree that the younger men just don't seem to have that same level of consideration across the board? I agree. But I don't feel like the young women do either. Like, I don't feel like the young women are presenting themselves in a way where a young man will look at them and go, oh, I should be treating her a certain type of way. Actually, the women don't even require it.
They don't.
They don't even require the same amount of respect for themselves.
But look at our media.
Like, I agree, but I feel like, I think that some of this, I feel like, is kind of, your actions. Every action has a reaction, and
it's absolutely societal. I think, and Vince, I was gonna point at you because your comment on that first time when we was going back and we had like 100 comments in this thing here. When you said that older man that you want will go get that 24-year-old, exactly what you said, Chloe. These 24-year-olds don't have respect for themselves. They don't have the common courtesy. They don't know what these things are. You have a body, you have a frame, but you don't have anything up here. They're going to get tired of this 45, 46-year-old man. But we're going to go away from that. To your comment, Chloe, it is a media thing now. I think the media and society is raising the kids now. It's who's got the best BBL, who's got the best, who's got the best makeup, who got on the shortest skirt getting the most hollers at the club. But that's not really what it should be. Mamas and daughters are partying together. They're in the club hanging out, which it should not be that way. Parents should be parents at all times. That's not the way I'm going to raise my daughter. I know that. She's going to respect herself and she's going to demand respect from somebody. That's just the way it is. So until all of us, and that's just all cultures, stand up and say parents need to start taking accountability and responsibility. And part of that is governmental, in my opinion, because they've taken a lot of rights away from parents. You can't spank your kids and all that stuff. That's not the way I grew up. That ain't the way I don't think any of us up here grew up. If you said something, you was going to get the smack. You know what I mean? If you got smart. Now these parents are going after teachers and saying the teachers can't discipline and can't call home and say your kid is acting out. But all of that goes into the way we act as an overall society. And it's not going to get better until some things change. And what's that change going to be, and who's going to implement that? That's the question.
Okay. Go ahead, Vince.
I agree
Maybe
with
you go there,
Nadia,
Vince.
100%. I'm gonna give you a story. When I was dating, I was about 27 to 30. Had a best friend, and he was dating a young lady that lived in Fowlerville, Lansing.
Right.
Typical. She was Caucasian, big family. I think she was the third of 7 or 8. Mom and daddy had been together forever. And when we went up there, we went to breakfast, and when we got there, she cooked breakfast and said, you know what? I want y'all just to sit down. I know the game is on. I know y'all like football. I'm going to go to Myers and get what y'all want so I can cook breakfast because I don't really like the restaurants around here. She went, got breakfast, brought back fruit, put the orange juice in a what you call that glass they put orange juice in?
Carafe.
I was like,
Fancy.
I had never got that treatment. She had a 2-bedroom apartment. They stayed, and then she had a guest room for me, and she had my towels. Said, here, Vince, here goes some fresh towels for you. And I was like, she treat me like I'm him, and I ain't even the boyfriend. I was like, but when I met her family, that's what it was. I think we're confusing race with family values and how people were raised. I see how her mother treated her father. I seen how the sisters, all of them married. Ain't no baby mamas, ain't no baby daddies. All of them married. Good marriage, bad marriage, second marriage, third marriage, married. So then when I got around them, I said, oh, okay. And, coming from, we just got to be honest. The problem with our community is the family. Coming from a single mother, my father died, so I never had the opportunity to know a father. None of my friends have fathers in the home. I think I've said this before. Not one. I'm talking about from elementary school to college. Maybe 2. I'm talking about out of hundreds. Out of the hundreds of women I've dated, 5 of them had biological married families in the home, and 2 were still happy, and I married one of them.
Yeah.
So, but then when I started dating Remy, that's how she did. I would come over, she would have my towels for me. Babe, you want something? Let me fix your plate. She don't let me fix my plate. So I think a lot of times we confuse race with how people were raised. And I think what we got to get back to is family, because that's all that's any different. That's all that's any different. We want the same things, but we go about it totally different. I was having a discussion with my grown daughter, and I was just, wow, I dropped the ball. And it hurt me to my heart so bad. And it's to understand that Jewel gonna be raised totally different. Not saying I was a bad father, but I wasn't there every day. She don't understand the value of a man being in the home. First of all, loving her mother. That's the key. Loving her mother, not any woman, but her mother.
Right.
So I think a lot of times it's not race, it's treatment. So I do agree with Nadia. And I think that because, they're married at a 60% clip. We married at a 28% clip. So yeah, he know how to treat a woman because he seen the way his daddy treated his mama. But our boys only see a overbearing, masculine mama and a feminine, soft daddy. If he around. So yeah, they not gonna, because mama done spoiled them, and son husband, and daddy done guilt tripped.
Ooh-wee.
They just keep it all the way 100.
Come on, son husband.
No, that's real, man. That's real. Oh, Nadia, you want to say? Oh, well, go ahead, Chloe. Then I go to Nadia. Go ahead, Chloe.
I'll let Nadia respond.
So I agree with Nadia. There is a difference. And I bet you them guys that she talked to came from marriage. Even if they was divorced, they mom and daddy was married when they was born.
when you born don't matter, because you got to go from the memories of when you were actually your upbringing. Because when I'm born, I don't remember when I was 6 months old. I
Well,
don't
were
remember
they
when I was
married?
2.
Were they married? Did they have daddy in the home?
Right, but it
Or
also
no
depends.
daddy?
But it also depends on the relationship that they viewed. They could have mama and daddy in the home, but if they had physical, mental, verbal, whatever abuse, also, then they're going to typically take on those ideals, and they're going to pay it forward. So you have to have a balance within the household, and you have to see a tranquil household and a household that has equilibrium in order to have a future healthy relationship. Now, when you talk about soft men, I don't think it's a thing of soft men, because the men ain't there. I mean, the fathers that are typically not in the child's life, they just not there. So whether they're soft or not, the kid's never going to know that. They're hoping to see that person. The mother, yeah, she's going to be tougher because she's got to take on both roles. So I think
that's what she chose to do. I mean, let's keep it real.
No, she didn't.
You choose that, just
You've
like I
been through
chose.
this.
Yeah.
You've been through this.
Just like I chose my first baby mama at 17. That was my choice. Y'all choose these bums. Y'all choose these. Y'all choose the swagged out one, the one that everybody wants, and you think that he gonna treat you different. You don't pick the nerdy guy, the guy you know that's a good guy. Y'all want the 6 foot tall, swagged out basketball player, football player.
And this is what I described.
So what it is we got to take some accountability for who we choosing. I'm gonna say one thing, and I'm gonna let somebody else speak. Everybody on my Facebook page is probably I know personally, and I can tell y'all that 80% of them people, when they get divorced, I don't be surprised. It's only a couple people that I would say, "Wow, I'm shocked they didn't work." Most of them, they've been together for 7, 8 years. They back and forth. Baby mama, baby daddy. She got kids and she don't want nobody to discipline. He got kids on child support. So my thing is, but you know what? They choose them. And I know for certain that those women had better choices, and some of those men had better choices. It ain't he just decided to leave. Well, when you met him, was he working? When you met him, did you ask about where his daddy was? When you met him and when you slept with him, did you get any information first? Just like with us, just like with men. Oh, her booty was so big, I just got in the hammer. Ooh,
So
I just had to have sex with her. But then you go in the kitchen and it's chicken grease all on the stove. She feeding her kids Doritos and Kool-Aid. But you thinking, oh, well, if she have my baby, she gonna do something different. So we got to take accountability for who we choosing. Just like I take accountability for who I chose. I take total accountability for the first person I chose. And the crazy thing about it is that when it broke up, everybody said we knew it wasn't going to work. Everybody, my mama, my grandmama, my aunties, my cousins, everybody. Oh, we knew y'all wasn't going to work, but you already had the kids. So, hey, what else was you going to do? And that's usually what it is. Well, you already got the kids. You already living together. You already got bills together. Let's just throw the dice out there and see if it works.
That's real. That's real right there. Shout out to Rose Jones. She said, "Stop with the Kool-Aid. That's my stuff."
Oh my God.
Let me get some of these comments.
I'm sorry.
Get some comments real quick. Then I'm gonna get some of these comments real fast, and then I'm gonna come to Chloe. Let's see. Donovan dropped a couple. I'm just catching up. He said black and white are, race and economic classifications. Let's see. There are black people that check the white box for social status. I heard it's legal too. Oh yeah. Definitely can cross them lines. Let's see. Donovan also said dating outside their race. Let's see. The saying. Let's see. Once you go black, you never go back. A lot of times it's because their race won't touch them afterward. That's what I was saying, man. And let's see. And I believe it's vice versa. So yeah, that's the point I was making earlier. I wonder if that's hurting the young lady in that video. Let's see. You also said money. Let's see. Money does have leverage when crossing racial boundaries. It's a good point. That's a good point. Let's see. He also said, upbringing is everything. Chivalry is instilled from youth. I know some exceptional urban folk. I know some ghetto Caucasians. Facts. That's facts. All right, Chloe, you want to say something?
I mean, you know, since we were on the topic of accountability, I just wanted to say, like, first of all, I love everybody on the panel, but y'all are not going to sit on this panel and try to just wash real fast over the fact that, especially the ladies, I'm about to call the ladies out. Okay. Now, mind you, I am sure that the ladies on this panel can be objective and it's not all superficial about how you pick and how you choose a guy. Okay. But let's just be honest. Before we was good and grown, you know, and had our life experiences, we were tripping all over the light skin, pretty eyes, you know, nice hair guys. Like we all did that. We all did that. So to be in a position now where we're like, you know, maybe it's this or maybe it's that or maybe it's just internalized racism. Like we honestly have to really take this seriously because we would hear it in our families about, oh, cousin so and so so beautiful, or and typically she had the beautiful hair, and maybe, you know, auntie had messed with some dude and he was mixed and they had colored eyes, or it was something like that, and we saw how everybody would treat these particular kids or how they were treated, or and we see how other women are treated when they look like that in our community. And I can go back even further, child, to the paper bag test. Like this is something that has been going on in our community for a very, very long time. And what it has done is we have internalized that. So for us to say, well, we don't have to, well, yeah, maybe now people are a little bit more diverse and now people don't care as much. But literally, there's $1 billion industry that is marketed to women. And when they market these products, the women are not dipped in dark chocolate. Not they are starting to do it a little bit more now, but not consistently. And when I was speaking about the natural hair movement earlier, this is where I saw it the worst. They were horrible. They would make these black owned products. And then when they would advertise them to us, this would be the my point is, and which is fine. The thing is, curly hair is universal. But my problem is, don't say you're making a product that's supposed to be for kinky curly girls, but it's only a specific type of kinky curly girl. And that was the issue. So my point is, when she said that, she's right. I do not for 1 second believe that this young woman has never ran into a man who has made her feel like that. But even worse than a man making her feel like that, she feels like that on the inside. She feels like that. So she really actually don't need a man to tell her that she's dark skinned and she's not everybody's preference, because she already doesn't feel like everybody's preference. And that's not by just ask. That's just not because she just was insecure. Like, is there some insecurity there? Probably no more than what we all experienced at one time or another. But it's conditioning. Like, we're not gonna act like this is not how we're marketed to.
Yeah, but we're also, so then going by that logic, basically you saying that we're subscribing to it.
Yeah. We bought into it. Absolutely.
Okay. Let me
We bought into it. You know, we that's all we do. You know, in America, all we do is consume. We bought into it. We bought into it just like we buy into everything else. They look, especially women, because you know women love to buy. We'll buy anything. Put us somewhere with something we can purchase, and we'll buy. We'll buy. Okay. Just like we bought into feminism. Ooh.
Uh-oh. Let me go to Shantae. Shantae, you want to say something?
I think that sometimes it might have something to do with the damage that has been done in our community when it comes to that. Because when a black woman dates a white guy, it's like, go on, sis, get the bag. You know what I mean? But then when a white woman dates a black guy, it's like, oh, she gonna say you raped her. You know what I'm saying? It's on a negative note. You know what I'm saying? Because how many college kids or high school football players have had their career ruined off of a white woman saying that, you know, they raped her? I mean, look at Emmett Till. The white lady lied. You know what I mean? I think that it has been so much damage in our community when it comes to these white women, but it's not as much damage when it comes to the white men, because maybe, you know, the woman can get with the man and, you know, succeed in life, you know. But when we think about the woman, the white woman dating, we don't think about them succeeding in life. We're more scared for the black man. You know what I mean? Just because of the damage that they've caused. It's just the, you know, that's our reaction to their action. You know what I mean? But then we take it into our community and then it damages us. Like, you know, first is them versus us, and then how did it turn to us versus us? You know what I mean? And like I said, yes, I have been a problem because it's on preference, but the way that I feel has been the way that I feel like that because of the damage that has been done. Like Donovan was saying, like a lot of people associate light skin with being snooty. I don't want to associate with nothing negative. You know what I mean? And so I think that just comes from the damage that has been, or even I have learned about, you know. But I think that the community thing too. So whatever. Okay, so I'm like when I was young and in kindergarten. So y'all a little older than me. Do y'all remember getting hit with the paddle in the middle of your hand?
I was good.
But But you went to elementary. You went to kindergarten and elementary school in Michigan, correct, Nadia?
Yep.
So they used to hit the paddle in the hand if you were bad. I was a bad kid. Okay.
I never saw that in class.
Okay, so that happened when we were young. So even if you weren't getting that discipline at home, and your parent might have been a drug addict, alcoholic, whatever it was, maybe not paying attention to you, you still got that discipline when you got to school. So what happens is after they took that away, and then all we had was the village, and then now they took that away because, you know, I mean, you know, society, just like they had a crack era, then we have you know, the crack era was a problem, but then you got the opioids for the white people, and now it's an epidemic and we need to stop it. You know what I mean? Like all of that is all but it's all everything. Like I was looking at something in TikTok today. Everything has something to do with race. The TikTok was about how ice cream has something to do with race. How the black people couldn't even eat vanilla ice cream unless it was the 4th of July. And that's why we love butter pecan so much, because they made butter pecan ice cream because they couldn't eat vanilla. Like everything has something to do with race. So then, so if you start thinking, it damaged us as black people. You know what I mean? It damaged us as black people. So when you have, like you said, when it's the insecurity. So if a white man dates a black woman and that white man knows that the black woman still dates black women, where does his insecurity come from? He gonna think he got a small package because black men are known for having big packages. So now mentally he's fighting with himself like, oh my God, she's gonna go want some big D and I'm not gonna be enough. That's where their insecurity might stem from. So whatever insecurity that this female has, because now more than ever, we all voicing that black is beautiful. When I was young, we weren't voicing black is beautiful like that. I think darker skinned women are getting way more play. I think the light skin that's to the past. I think that because of the appreciation for black, they are liking the natural and the darker skins and you know what I mean? So I don't know where her insecurity come from, but I think as a community, our colorism might be getting just a little better because of, I mean, maybe just a little bit, Chloe, because of the new acceptance of darker hues. You know what I mean? Like I stay true to mine. I've been liking a certain brown skin. Anybody I dated when I was young was brown skin. You ain't never seen me with nobody pink.
I hear that.
So, you know, I think that it's a lot have to do with society. It's a lot have to do with us as a community, you know, and then on top of that, the people, they, you know, we already know they trying to dismantle us. So, you know, whatever we gon', you know, they gonna give whatever we gonna take.
That's real. That's real. That's real. Go ahead. You want to say something, Chloe? And then I'm switches.
I guess this is why I say this, right? Like they've done literal like studies where especially for okay, I'm gonna speak about black men and young black men for a minute. And they have they find young black men who are darker shades more threatening. So they are interpreting the fact that these young men are just brown, darker brown, as meaning that they're worse, right? Because let's just be honest, brown skin is still not considered good. Like, I know I'm not trying to get too deep, but we got to be honest about this. Like, as far as we have come, and I'm not saying we certainly haven't made any progress, we obviously have, but we still have so far to go because I have two sons, and one is fair skinned, that's just the way he came out. And then the other is brown, like dark brown. That's just the way he came out, right? And I have to, wonder, like, he's the sweetest young man you're ever going to meet. But I have to wonder, is he going to get treated differently? Because his skin is darker brown. And he's probably the kindest, nicest young man. But will he be received that way? So when I hear this young woman, I go, y'all, we have to really, there's more work for us to do. So when I say accountability, I mean, there's more work for us to do because we need to be pouring into our children, but we also need to be pouring into the children around us and just children in general, so that maybe we can begin to heal whatever it is that has this young woman believing that simply because she's darker skinned, that she's not a preference. Because she was really pretty girl. So that shouldn't have even been something that she should even be concerned about. But the fact that there is still a level of internalized racism, she didn't come up with that. She didn't get to that point all by herself. She didn't just get there, right? There have been some things that have happened in her life along the way that have helped her develop that mindset. So if we're talking to generations after us and we're saying, okay, we need to get on this, no one should feel that way. And if we don't agree with it and we feel like this is the wrong explanation, then we have to do whatever we can, right, to work on that and change that. So I'm, let's call a thing a thing. Like, we still out here, ooh and on and over, curly hair, pretty eyes, like that's still a thing. And, until we change our minds and how we interact with people, and get rid of some of these biases that we don't realize we actually have, then I think, we just gonna keep seeing this.
Okay, I hear that. Let me get this comment, then I'm gonna switch us up. Let's see. Rose Jones, she said that's because we as black people hate ourselves. She said, you see it in the entertainment field. Let's see, I should have invested in a wig store. I would be loaded right now. We need to stop trying to look like them and be who we are.
So I got it. You go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I'll come right behind you. I got a response for this one. Go ahead.
No, respond, because I was going to go back with Chloe.
Oh, okay, I got you. So Rose, so I agree with what you're saying, to an extent. And the reason I say to an extent is this last point that you made. We need to stop trying to look like them and be who we are. I think the problem with that statement is we got to take a step back, because my first question or response to that is, who are we? Yeah, I think that's a part of the problem. Yeah, we've been fed identities. You have some of us as African, some of us African American, some of us is Israelite people, Some of us is Moors. Some of us is this. Some of us is that. So we've been fed all types of identities. So I think the first thing that we got to solve and come to a consensus on is, who are we? Yep, I think that's partially why we're so easily led. Yep, circling back to your point about this, invested in a wig store. Even that right there is not even guaranteed. Yep, and what I mean by that is our identities are so skewed at this point for a lot of folks, not everybody, but for a lot of folks, identities are so skewed at this point. Even if you did invest in that wig store, would we even support it? So I think before we can say we have to be who we are, we got to figure out what that is and who that is. Yep. Now, mind you, I think some people are taking that journey now. I hate that it's in their later age, but I think some people have taken that journey now to understand who they are and where they come from. But a lot of folks are not. So I think until that piece is squared away and nailed down, we're going to have an issue right here with understanding even who we are and what we should be doing. You want to say something, Nadia?
Yeah, I was just going back to kind of Chloe's point, because my thoughts about our presentation, whether you are fair skinned or dark skinned, right? We know that we have to work a little bit harder than any other race to be accepted and to be considered beautiful, right? So my thoughts are, why are we allowing ourselves, allowing our youth, allowing our younger Black men, who we know are definitely at the bottom and are seen as threats? Why are we allowing these people and teaching them that it's okay to walk around with hoodies on and with jeans sagging and, an undershirt? Because my first thought to me is, where do you work? Sorry, I'm thinking, if you're 25, you should be dressed like a respectable individual. Now, then you go to, what's respectable, right? Respectable is obviously what most people identify with and what most people are going to consider non-threatening. If you saw this dude, it looks like, Idris Elba, and you saw somebody else that looked like 50 Cent, and you in an alley, who are you going to look at and go, I want to turn the corner? So it's all about presentation and how we present ourselves to other people as well. I know if I go into a job interview, I was scared a lot of times here, especially because you have a lot of beautiful, it's like Miami, a lot of beautiful Hispanic and Asian and white women. And I'm going in here with natural hair, and they're looking at me like, but the first thing that manager said on that interview was, I love your hair. And it was like, well, thank you. You know what I mean? And did I get the job? Yes, I did. But I've accepted who I am. I know that I need to work a little bit harder in presentation than anybody else, just because I am a Black woman. It's just the way it is. So I think that we need to start teaching our youth that social media is not the way. We need to focus on the basics and what it means to adult and to get farther, to get ahead in this world, because we can't just put this as a Black thing with the separation and the divide either, because Asians have it, Hispanics have it. None of them want to be darker. All of them consider darker skin less than. So it's not just a Black thing.
I gotta buck that point. I gotta buck that point that you just made. So you said that none of them want to be darker. Mm-hmm. So I gotta do this. I gotta do this just for that one point you made.
Stop the cap.
The reason I say that is because they stay in the tanning booth. So if they don't want to be darker, why are they always tanning?
They want to be an acceptable level of dark. They want the gold. They don't want dark skin to the point where it makes you look like, essentially it makes you back to that of, you were a field worker versus someone who was in the house.
They don't want to look Black.
Correct. And that's the same.
Brown skin is still frowned upon.
Correct. And which is why I say we have to work harder. You have to work harder and be willing to put into the work to be and to elevate yourselves and be accepted. Can it happen? Absolutely. But you have to be willing to put in the work and not just jump back and holler, it's the system. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with the putting in the work part, but there's nothing that we can do to change the color of our skin. Just like there's nothing that we can do to change the texture of our hair, right? Like there's nothing we can do to do that. So, you know,
you get a perm.
I agree.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, you can get, and look, and we've done it. We've got wigs, we've got perms, we've done all that. And at the end of the day, we're still Black. So, I mean, there's nothing we can do about that. And I just think that's just the thing, right? Like, it always comes back to that. Those people don't want to be Black. They don't.
So y'all.
That's it, because of the stigma that they've given our skin color. It's not because obviously there's anything wrong with our skin color. It's the stigma that has come along with our skin color. It's why no other race wants to be considered that dark. They don't want to be considered Black. That's it. They do not want to be Black. They don't mind having a tan because they don't mind a light golden brown, but they don't want to be Black, period. Because once again, they demonized and weaponized our skin color. So we can understand why that young woman who was Black, like not even Black, not because of Black, dark brown, we can see now why she's like, well, you know, maybe I'm not the preference. Why is she not the preference? Because brown skin is not the preference. We can talk all around this thing all we want to. We can try to dress it up, put lipstick on that pig. But at the end of the day, dark skin is not the preference. Not in society. It is not. Will you have people that understand that Black is beautiful? Absolutely. Sure. Because we know it is beautiful. But at the end of the day, it is not the preference. Period. Nowhere. Nowhere is it the preference.
Okay.
All right. The thing
go ahead, Vince. Then I'm gonna switch this up, man. Go ahead.
I think the thing that bothers me most about this whole topic is that people love who they love because they're good to them and because they love them. The issue that I have is when Black men say, "Oh, well, I'm dating a white, I'm dating somebody white because Black women is bossy or masculine," and then Black women will say, "Oh, well, ain't no good Black men." That's the only really problem that I have with it. Because I'm telling you, I think it's more about the way they were raised than the race. Because my thing is, when Black women say that, it's kind of like a smack in the face because the white men was the first abusers. They're the ones that were keeping their women from working. They're the ones who was raping y'all. So for y'all to tell a Black man, "Oh, well, white man gonna treat me better than you," it's kind of a smack in the face. And I understand the same for Black men. I think we need to go, no, I love this person and this person treats me how I want to be treated. Black, Asian, Puerto Rican, or whatever. And leave it at that. Because when you throw that other thing in there, it's kind of like a disgrace and a disservice. And Black men do it too. So I'm not just saying it's only because Black men do it too. "Oh, I'm going to find me a white woman because she going to treat me. She going to treat you the same way everybody else treats you if you a bum. You ain't working, she gonna treat you the same way." So they just get off of it.
Can I just say something real quick for you close out?
Because I will say, I'm telling y'all, we got it. It's such a glaring difference when you got two parents in everybody want to minimalize that and say, "Well, it's got to be two good parents." Oh, you can't. Everybody gonna have problems. If you single, you gonna have problems. My mom was single her whole life. You think I ain't see her going through this bad boyfriend, this good maybe boyfriend, this married man she was dealing with? But wouldn't it be better just to go through it, with my daddy? At least my daddy loved me. These other men don't really care nothing about me. Not for real, for real. Oh, it's got to be perfect. Ain't no situation perfect. No way. And it's not like y'all go raise these kids and not have nobody around them. That would be different if you say, "Okay, well, since I decided to be a single mom, I'm just going to raise these kids and not have a man around my child." But everybody wants this perfect, oh, it's got to be a good marriage or it's got to be this type. No, can we just get the marriage first? Can we just, people say, well, that ain't gonna work. I said, well, let's just try something different. I'm telling you, if we had 70% of children being born in wedlock, give me 20 years, I'll put $100,000 on it. We'll see a completely different generation that's coming up. Just start with marriage. It ain't gotta be good marriage or emotional. Just start with marriage first. I put 100 on it.
I don't think that's the no, because just because you married doesn't make it right and make it great. And I know you're trying to say that it does not. Two people in the household, just because you have two people doesn't mean, again, it's the right two people. Those two people could do more damage. No.
My thing is, what's the right two people? Everybody gonna have problems.
But what she trying to say is,
my thing is, at least you got their father in the household, and one thing that you're gonna know is that they love that child. If they don't love that child, then you should have picked better. Still go back to the picking.
Vince. So what she's trying to say is essentially 2 parents in the unhealthy household is worse than a single household with a healthy parent.
I don't believe that.
That's debatable.
But I hear what y'all saying. Show me some facts. We were better as a Black community when we were married more. We had better education. We had better kids. We had better community.
But what happened to the marriage after the kids grew up and moved out? They divorced because they was only staying married for the kids.
Okay.
So what? So what? Stay married for the kids.
But my thing is,
put your personal feelings
in your household, but you can have peace alone.
That's what they used to do. They used to say, you know what? We gonna raise these kids.
I don't know, man. I think I'm with Nadia.
But you know what? Because
I got a question for you two ladies. Are we better now as a Black society than we were in the 50s?
I didn't live in
no, because the daddies ain't even there to be bad daddies.
Okay.
They ain't even. Wait. Hold up. I'm not about to let.
I can go through Detroit. Ain't one laundromat. Ain't one gas station. Ain't one grocery store. Ain't one hardware store.
Wait. Hold on. I'm not about to let this slide.
And the ones that ain't us. They Asians or something else. And they married.
Hold on, Vince. I got you. I'm not about to let this slide, ladies. No, let me come back to this because we got to settle this before I switch this topic. Are y'all trying to tell me that we were not better off? I'm gonna take y'all route. Are y'all telling me that we were not better off with dysfunctional marriages versus single mamas?
Yes.
Is that what y'all telling me?
I'm telling you, we were not better off. And I'm telling you that because those children that you're talking about are our parents. Are our parents the ones who had healthy relationships? Maybe, maybe not. If we came from households where we saw abuse and things that weren't unhealthy or weren't healthy, are we the ones now who are taking on that unhealthy stuff? We're just passing it along is what we're doing.
I'm gonna tell you from Mike, and our relationships are worse. Because it's not like we leaving marriages and having healthy single.
We take every scar mentally that we have had in life, and it goes within you, and you take it right with you. All that baggage goes right with you into that next relationship.
I think, and we do have to move on though, for real. But I think that to just settle this out, like, as a community, we were a bit more, and I'm gonna say a bit more, so we don't have to argue about the stats. We were a bit more unified. We could definitely get more done. We definitely, like Vince said, were more of the entrepreneur spirit. We had more community focus. We definitely had more of that village mindset. That definitely was us at that time. And I hear what you guys are saying. I'm sure that some of those marriages that were happening were dysfunctional. But I think we also have to understand that this media that we've been talking about this whole time of social media and how the media has been conditioning us and things like that. I think we have to understand that has played a role in the degradation for our desire and our understanding of the importance of having that 2-person unit. And see, our parents before us, And even we weren't as affected by it, right? Our children, though, and their children will be, I mean, hugely impacted by the conditioning. Um, because we remember a time where we didn't have smartphones. Some of us remember a time when we had dial up. Like that's not something that our kids even can relate to.
And
So
that's the reason.
So, what I'm saying is there is some truth. You don't have to agree with it wholeheartedly or completely, but there is some truth to what Vince is saying, because there was a time when the reason why the parents stayed together is because they knew that it was better for them for the overall health of their children, for them to stay a unit in the household, as opposed for mom to try to strike out on her own, or dad to be separated from the family, right? So they looked at it like, look, this ain't perfect. And sometimes, I be one, look, but we got these kids up in here. Let's try to keep this together. Let's get these kids and send these kids on their way and get these kids the best start to life we can give them. And yes, that might be why you see them break up later in life. And we may be looking at that like, oh, well, this was dysfunction. Oh, well, this, oh, was that. But as children, we really won't know the impact that it had on our lives because we had it. You know what I'm saying? We had it.
Right.
So we can talk about how negative it was, and now we're adults. Oh, that was horrible because we're adults and we're looking at it from our adult lens. But we'll never know how impactful it was to have those two people fight it out to stay together so that we could have some type of foundation.
So I'm gonna leave you with this question. So are you saying that men and kids, men more likely, boys, who have seen their fathers as physical abusers aren't more likely to be abusers themselves in their relationship? Are you saying that boys or females who have seen promiscuous parents aren't more likely to be promiscuous further on in life?
So I'll respond to this. I'll leave you with the question. Why is it that y'all always go there? Why is it that when we talk about, wait, baby. Let me get my question out. Why do y'all always go there? Whenever we talk about marriage and we talk about the fact that a marriage is dysfunctional, we said dysfunctional. We didn't say abusive. To me, if somebody's life is in danger, that's a whole nother level. And that's not really what we're arguing. I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that someone stay in a situation where their lives or even their children's lives is potentially in danger. Like, why would I tell you to do that? So we're talking about a marriage that maybe is not working. We're talking about two parents that maybe don't get along. We're not talking about somebody up in the house getting beat on all the time and kids is seeing their parent getting beat on all the time. That's a traumatic situation. And I know it happens, but that's an extreme situation. That's okay. I know it happens, but that's an extreme situation. Everybody not out here getting a behind beat in their house. There's a lot of dysfunction in marriages that are happening that don't have nothing to do with physical abuse.
There is, but we're talking about fire.
When we talk about this, we always go to somebody is getting their butt beat. Listen, if you in a situation where you getting beat down, please don't stay in that. Nobody's telling you to stay in that. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about two practical adults that have decided, you know what, this marriage really ain't doing it for us, but we're going to stay to see these kids on their way. That's what we're talking about. Because believe it or not, a lot of us are products of that, and some of us might not even know. I'm not talking about a situation where somebody is being physically hurt all the time. That is not what we're talking about. That's not it. But my point was, and it stands as it is, that I think the difference is, and I say this from personal experience, the difference is there was a decision that had to be made. And these were adults that knew that their decision would affect these children. And they said, you know what? We brought these kids into the world. We don't really feel like we get to decide that because it was our choice to marry each other, because it was our choice to have these children, that now we put them in a situation where they don't have this experience. They don't have that. Mom out here trying to do 11,000 jobs all by herself, this and that and the third, when that's not what we signed up for. And it's certainly not what they signed up for, because they didn't really get a choice. So we're going to try to Band-Aid this together, stay together, so that these kids can have some type of foundation. I'm saying that this was the decision that a lot of parents had to make. Now, you have to agree with it. And if that's not the way you choose to live your life, that's fine. But what I'm saying is there's so much of that happening. This is why we have so many single parent homes. Is because we see a lot of that happening. She's pretty. So that was my point. Like I see where y'all ladies is going with it, but we can't act like this doesn't have a solid point. I think that as a community, we were just doing better when we understood that the family unit was the backbone of our community, and that strong families was important.
Yeah, no, that's facts. And I said that's where I was going with that. Let's say Donovan, when he dropped his comment, this is exactly where I was going with it. If we want to say that it was not working, then why was the concerted effort behind it or behind trying to destroy it so strong?
Exactly.
So that would be my response to that. If it was so dysfunctional and it was so not working and not pushing us in the right direction as a community, then why was there so much effort put behind destroying it and breaking it down? It's just that simple. Because at the end of the day, what we do know is people want to see us in disarray and chaos. They'll flood our neighborhoods with drugs. They'll drop guns off in the back alley so we can get to shooting each other. We know that as a fact today. So the effort that we saw to break up and destroy the black family, essentially separate the black man from the black woman, all of that effort and money that was put into that initiative or that movement, all of that would not have been done if our family structures were not working and supporting our community. It's really just that simple. But I'm going to pivot us off real quick before we get out of here. I know we got just a little bit, then we're going to get on out of here. So some other videos came my way. I know Chloe knows about this one video, so we're going to touch this real quick. I'm going to sandwich it with two real fast, and then we're going to get out of here. So topic 2, we're going to touch, why are you stalling? Topic 2, why are you stalling? All right, so I got 2 videos back to back. I'm going to play real quick. Let's see, we'll touch this real fast, and then we're going to get on out of here.
3 years.
3 years.
3 years. Has he proposed to you yet?
No.
No, not yet. It's coming. It's coming.
You guys live together now?
Yes.
A year and a half. Yeah.
So why would he put a ring on it then, if he's already getting everything?
That's a good question. He's getting a wifey. Okay,
Shit.
you got it.
What?
Why would you put a ring on it if we already live together? If I'm already doing wifey shit.
I genuinely love you.
Oh. So when you plan on proposing? You starting something.
Why do I need a ring to show you my love and dedication to you when I do that on a daily basis?
A ring is making it official.
Yeah, there's no such thing as official. You love each other. It's just like
A ring is making it official.
everybody got their own opinion. So it's just like she's a female, so a female gonna have their own opinion anyway.
You're single until married, in my opinion.
That term don't mean shit to me at all. I'm being all the way authentic with you. I'm being authentic with you. I'm being 100 with you. That term you just said don't mean shit.
Okay. So that's one. I'm gonna drop one right behind that.
They're not worthy unless they spend a certain amount of money on an engagement ring. That's why a lot of y'all be in relationships where you've been a girlfriend for 10 years, wondering why he ain't proposed yet. Because you want a $10,000 ring and a $50,000 wedding. He trying to get his money together. I guarantee you could find the man of your dreams if you just stop being so materialistic. I'm not saying you gotta go get a bum. I'm not saying you gotta go get somebody who ain't gonna do nothing but sit on your couch and eat Pringles all day. I'm not saying that.
Okay. So, topic 2. Why are you
Prove your
stalling?
love, baby.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead, Nadia. You say that again?
I said, prove your love, baby.
Right. You know, Donovan and Kenyatta, this y'all time to shine, okay? This y'all time to shine. I was in a situation where I was with a man for a long time. We was together before I moved from Michigan. We was together for a hot 3 years. You know, he purchased a house. We didn't purchase the house together, but he purchased a house in the name of love in the area that I wanted, the house that I wanted. And yeah, marriage wasn't so, you know, so me moving, it wasn't really a hard decision because it was so many years. And I just felt like the progress. That's the principle. The principle was the progress. The principle wasn't the ring. The principle was the progress. Because what we doing?
Okay. Chloe, you want to say something? I see you shaking your head.
I mean, like I told you earlier when I sent you that, okay? She is not fooling nobody. She has been wanting to ask him this question for the last probably 6 months. She said 1.5 years they've been living together. Yeah, she probably was cool with it when they first moved in. It was cute, you know. And she was probably expecting a proposal by now, and it just hadn't came. But at this point, they living arrangements, you know, it probably working out for her. They found a living arrangement that works for them, and it's cool. So she, you know, she's probably like, okay, this is cool. I don't really want to rock the boat too much, but I am wondering, when is he going to? Because as soon as my man asked, she's like, oh yeah, you're right. I mean, that would make it official. And I feel like you single until you married. Wait a minute. So you living with this man, you living with him, but you said you feel like you single until you married. And so basically, what are y'all, roommates? Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, no, I'm serious. Like she said, her words. She said, I feel like you're single until you're married. Yes, you moved in with this man and you've been living with this man. And he is like, oh, it's coming. And that's probably what he's been telling you. But then the minute she dug into that, saying, oh, well, I feel like you're single until you married, then you heard it come up out of him. But nothing that you said, it don't mean ish to me. What you saying don't mean ish to me. This is why she hasn't had this conversation with him, because you see how he get the acting when they have the conversation. This is why she could not wait for that man to open up the door to the conversation so that she can go, oh, you know what? You just started something. Because in the back of her mind, she already been wanting to have this conversation with him anyway. And this gave her a segue into this conversation so it didn't have to look like it was her.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm gonna do this because I gotta do it. I gotta call cap on something she said.
Stop the cap.
I keep hearing ladies say this, especially as of lately. They keep talking about you single until you married.
You are.
Stop the cap.
Facts.
That's straight cap. Because at the end of the day, if you dating a dude exclusively, you're gonna have a problem if this cat is out here messing with some other chick while he with you.
That's not what we're saying.
No, but what I'm saying is you sitting here saying that you single until you married.
The classification is single.
Let me hear this. Go ahead.
So we're not saying that you're not dating somebody exclusively. We're not saying that you can't be monogamous with somebody. That's not what we're saying. But there's no classification anywhere for dating. You're either single. If I'm filling out an application, they're gonna say single, married, divorced, whatever. They're not gonna say dating exclusively. Ain't no brownie points for dating exclusively. Don't get me wrong, we want to date exclusively. I'm not saying we don't want that, because that's the first step before you get to marriage. So we want an exclusive relationship, But let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. There is no brownie points for dating somebody exclusively. There isn't. It means something to you and that person. It definitely means something to you and that person. So we're not gonna throw it away like it don't mean nothing. It means something to you and that person. But if we're looking at it in a societal way, right? There's either single or there's married or divorced, widowed, whatever. There is no classification for dating exclusively. Don't please nobody get triggered in the comments if you dating. Okay. I dated exclusively for years. So this is not a judgment. I'm simply saying when you look at it in practical terms, black and white, you're either single or you're married. Because nothing is stopping. We can be in a committed relationship all we want, but the person you're in a committed relationship with can just ghost you in a second. And it wouldn't matter if you was together for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. And there's nothing for you there. There's nothing for you to get from that. All it is lost time. Let's just be honest. I'm going to say the thing that you're not supposed to say. It's just wasted time. Because if nothing comes from it, you could say, I learned some things. You did. Okay. You learned some lessons. Okay. You made some strides. Okay. But practically speaking, y'all like tangibles. What tangible are we getting from that? Like, what's the tangible? Like, I'm just being serious.
Oh, that's cool. You just heard what she said.
What's the tangible, right? So, like, what am I getting from that? If I'm dating you exclusively for 10 years, and I'm dating you exclusively for 10 years, and nothing wrong with somebody dating, because once again, you got things going on in their life, and everything is happening. So this is not a judgment. I'm just simply saying, if I decide that I'm just going to date you in perpetuity, okay, what's the tangible? Like, what do I do with that? Because what am I supposed to do with that? I'm living with you. We're living together. We're partners. There's some type of common law type of situation that may be able to be applied there. But if something happens to you or something happens to me, neither one of us have rights. If we have children and we haven't figured out or worked out what's going to happen with that, what happens?
No, I get all of that. I get all of that.
So what I'm saying is that's why there's no classification for it. That's why, because there needs to be some type of legality. There needs to be some type of real claim that you make. There needs to be some type of level of commitment that you make there, because otherwise it's just you saying, I love you and I'm with you. And listen, y'all can feel however y'all want to feel about it, but you know,
get emotional. All right, now.
If you wanted, you should put a ring on it.
So I'm gonna go back to last week when your boy John the Baptist, or whatever his name is, that John the Baptist,
Yeah,
when
John
he
the
said
Baptist.
women are emotional and men are logical.
Right.
So in this case, men are very logical, because they're saying, why buy the cow when I get the milk for free? She is living with him. I guarantee she's putting forth her best self trying to get this man to propose to her at some point, because she's just hoping that he's going to marry her. But she's giving all of her time, all of herself. And like she said, wasting time, because I have no protections, zero. And it's not from a materialistic standpoint. It's from a protective standpoint. Because when it all is said and done, I still need to make sure that I'm fine, and I'm going to be fine going forward, just as he does.
And the kids.
Same thing. And the kids. Correct.
Okay,
Men don't
hold on.
let's just put it out there. Men don't want to technically get married. Men are fine with yes, I said it. Men are fine with a relationship. They are fine with dating, because then you don't have anything that's holding you there. And it's true. Y'all will date forever. And the reason y'all usually put a ring on it, either because she got pregnant or because it's an ultimatum of, if we don't get married in the next 6 months to a year, I'm out of here. And then y'all like, well, all right.
Please let me please let me jump in on this. Please.
Go ahead, Vince, because I got something to say. Go ahead, man.
We just call a thing a thing.
No, we about to get at that. Go ahead, Vince.
Y'all need to pick. Go back to your picking. You need to. A man understands that a woman is his legacy. A woman is his peace. We can't. I bet you every black millionaire is married at a high clip. It ain't no 34. I bet you 70-80%. Men who make over 100,000 are married, and those are the ones that don't gotta get married. It's these bums y'all dealing with that y'all keep bringing up. Yeah, he don't want to get married. He don't want to pay nothing anyway. He don't want to pay nothing. He don't want to take care of y'all anyway. Y'all need to pick better men, because a real man, the men that y'all want to get married because they understand. First of all, we can't have a family without y'all. Y'all can have a family without us. Y'all can go have sex with anybody y'all want to and have as many babies as y'all want to, and ain't got to be bothered with him forever. Men can't do that. And smart men will understand, if I'm going to have a baby, I want to raise that baby, and I want to love that woman because that child is my legacy. And I got too much money to be out here throwing my seed away on a baby mama.
So then you're talking about
Let me finish. That's why you see men who at a higher income level, they ain't got a bunch of baby mamas. Take away the entertainers, take away the rappers. Pull me an executive, a C-suite executive, and let's see how many baby mamas they got. They might have ex-wives, but they ain't got no baby mamas, because they understand that this is my legacy. This is my name. So y'all need to pick better men. And I keep going back to that. So don't say, and I married my wife in 6 months. And I didn't have to get married. I had 2 grown kids, had my own money, my own business, was making a whole lot of money. But I understood her value. And she has brought more peace and more stability in my life. That's why these men get to that point, because they have a wife. Then that way they can focus on their goals. They can focus on what they need to be focused on because they got peace at the house. Y'all need to get better men. Stop dealing with these bums and pick a better man. Pick a man that want to be married, because there are some that out there. And you know why? And you know why? Whatever, they get married. They'll have no problem. They'll go out there and find somebody because they want some kids. But see, y'all on this whole, it's got to be perfect. I can't go through nothing. I can't do this. I can't do that. And the problem is also, with society being ran, white men ain't gonna let y'all talk about them like that. I pull up the movie The Burning Bed. How many times have y'all seen The Burning Bed? But you see The Color Purple. You see Waiting to Exhale. You see Ike and Tina. You see all these movies where the black man is the villain. They had a whole damn play of The Color Purple, about to bring it back for 2024. Black man missed the beating on somebody. White men ain't gonna let y'all talk about them like that. When's the last time you see white men beating on their women, leaving their women in movies? You don't see that. You see them coming in playing Captain Save-A-Ho. Even in the black movies, the best men. Oh, where the white man got to come in and save me along because she can't find no good black man. Or the white man got to come in and save and be the Prince Charming.
Wow.
Right.
So we got to say, let's kill this. Let's just, and that first couple, I bet you they ain't got a mom, they ain't got a daddy in the house. She gonna let him play with her for as long as she let him play with her. But you know what white women know? You at least go marry me. I don't care if we get divorced. Black women, y'all let a nigga play with y'all for years, have a bunch of babies with him, and then after the shit go awry, then you want to blame him. Oh,
you can't force nobody to marry you.
Well, if you would have demanded marriage to beginning, we wouldn't be able to play with you that long.
But that's what we say.
These millionaire athletes who really don't need to get married, them white women are saying, look, you're going to marry me. You ain't going to have to pump me with a bunch of goddamn babies.
He feel like he got a prize because he got blondie with blue eyes.
No, he feel like he going to have to marry her. And if the sisters would be like, look, you going to have to marry me, he would get married to them.
But okay. But Vince, that's what we saying. Okay, like I don't disagree with
Y'all
you.
ain't gonna talk about the brothers like that. Find better men.
No. Well, first of all,
why you getting emotional, Vince? Y'all are supposed to be logical.
Find better men.
First of all, Vince, I don't want no smoke. Okay, I don't want no smoke. I was just simply saying that there is a precedent for this, right? I do agree with you that women should demand the type of relationships that they want. That's kind of the point I was making. She had put herself in a situation where she was cool with it. She probably was genuinely cool with it at first. It sounded like a good idea. But now it's a year and a half later and he's still not showing any signs of wanting to move beyond just what they are. And then when the conversation is opened up, she jumped on it. And that's what tells me that this is probably something that was already kind of bothering her a little bit, but she wasn't ready to have the conversation herself. Because as soon as old boy with the microphone opened up the dialogue, she was ready to jump at that thing. Oh, well, because I feel like you're either single until you're married. And it's like, well, if you felt that strongly about you're only single and then you're married, if you feel like that and that's really how you felt, then I agree with you, Vince. Why did you move in with him then? You shouldn't have moved in with him.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, because I got grown kids. I'm gonna tell you why, and this is why I'm so passionate, because I lived this. I was a teenage father, married young, divorced young, so I know what I'm talking about. And my thing is, she probably don't even really want to get married. She probably just wants somebody to help her pay this rent. Her daddy wasn't in the house, so she don't value no man for real. Just come on, help me pay this rent, pay this car note, and if I get a baby, then maybe he'll marry me after the baby. Ladies, y'all don't know me. A man who wants to get married will marry you, and it ain't gonna take him no bunch of goddamn years. I've talked to a whole lot of people been married 20, 15, 20 years. How long before you married her? 6 months? How long before you married her? 2 years? How long before you married her? A year? It ain't no 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, 3 kids later.
That depends. So I hear where you're going with it. And I think once you're at a certain age and level of maturity, I'm sure you're right. You have to remember that does depend on what age and what stage of life you meet your person at. Like, if you meet your person young, you probably don't need to get married 6 months later. You probably need to make sure that you are at a point where marriage is really where your maturity level is at. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a factor as well. It depends on, your level where you're at when you meet that person. If you meet that person at a point where you have a certain level of maturity, then I would agree that, it probably doesn't take that long. And, but I think that's, and then you have people with extenuating circumstances. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not even arguing why a person would date for longer than 6 months. I'm not even arguing a time limit. Y'all decide between the two of y'all how long or when y'all want to get married. I'm just simply saying, just going off that clip, I'm just simply saying that this is something that really happens. One, the problem that I'm saying is women are not demanding the type of relationship that they want. They don't set the expectation, right? There should be an expectation. I'm not saying that you should make a man feel like he got to marry you right away. I'm not saying that you start putting a pressure on him the minute y'all start dating and get serious. Okay, well, that's it. We serious now, so where the ring at? I'm not saying that, ladies. But what I am saying is be intentional. If you know you want marriage, if you know you want a family, if you know you're going to want to settle down, then once you guys get to a place where you're serious, he needs to know that too. And he needs to know that I'm not about to just play with you like that. But then again, this takes a level of intentionality that we just don't have anymore when we date. Because me personally, I'm not sleeping with you that soon anyway. So I'm not exposing myself to you to that level until I know where this is going. I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not gonna just play with my face like that. So I feel like if we're more intentional from the jump, then we don't have to be in a situation where I moved in with you and you don't realize that. Well, first of all, I'm not moving in with you if I'm not married, but that's just me. But I don't want to be in a position where I moved in with you and now you telling me that you don't respect the fact that I want to be married, because I feel like marriage is the qualifier. I feel like marriage makes it official. And you like, I'm not even trying to hear that. Why in the world would you move in with somebody if that's how they feel? Y'all don't even feel the same way about marriage.
I'm gonna tell you why
Yeah,
they
but see,
move in.
y'all
I'm gonna
keep,
tell you.
y'all
Y'all
keep.
even,
Hold on, hold
Let me
on,
say
hold on,
something.
Vince. Hold
y'all
on,
don't
hold on.
even feel the
Let me
same
say something.
way.
Let me
Like
say
he don't
something real
seem
quick.
like y'all don't feel the same way about marriage.
Well, let
Like
me say something real quick.
he's saying he don't feel like, he's like, I don't even feel like we need marriage. And she's like, but I feel like this. So they don't even
No,
feel the
but
same way
see,
about marriage.
no, but see, she's saying that now. Now this is my problem. I said I want to pose this question to y'all because I keep hearing something and it's not adding up to me. I keep hearing y'all say that the man is wasting her time. Why do we never speak about her wasting his resources?
What resources do you speak of?
Bills he's paying, the
Who said he's paying
husbandly,
them?
huh?
Who said he's paying them?
Come on now. We not about to do that. Why
We
do
are.
we never speak? Why do we never speak about y'all and the resources that y'all are using out of this man?
Okay, so
So
if
let
I'm
me say
dating this
something.
person,
Let me say something. So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, so this was me, and and you're right. Okay, but I think in the beginning of the relationship, because we did talk about marriage, but like I told him, it wasn't anything on my bucket list. Okay, and there's so many layers to this because there's so many women that just want to get married just to say that they marry, and my husband, my husband, my husband, and they're not even getting to know these people. And I think that's where I went wrong. I was so worried about making sure this man can provide stability. I was so worried about making sure he was husband material. I didn't even talk about that part. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there just, after a couple, because you really don't get to know the person after 2-3 years. You know what I mean? And yes, I did move in with him. At first, he moved in with me, and then after he purchased the house, I moved in with him. And yes, resources were used. I think that we both kind of helped each other financially, as far as the household. But it wasn't until maybe year 2.5, 3, where I was like, you know what? I will marry you, or this is, you know what I'm saying? But that was my responsibility to have that conversation with him. You know what I mean? And because unfortunately, people do run into like the men that Nadia are talking about. But sometimes if you I don't know, but I attract good men, just maybe not good men for me. And I think that men want to I think men get to a certain age. Okay, it all trickles back into a single parent household. Okay, and these women enable these men. And I think the difference between maybe some men and you, Vince, is while you were living this life, you were actually learning and you were taking heed to everything that you were learning. Some men don't do that. All men don't do that. They can make the mistake 10 times over and over and over again, date the same type of female over and over and over again, and not think, maybe I should change something up and I can find something for somebody that's for me. I think that, Vince, you are, you are maybe one out of 10 men that might have, because you know what you want. That's why you were able to get married like that, because you knew what qualities you wanted. You, like you were saying, you knew she kept a clean house. She took care of you emotionally, fed you, you knew what you were looking for. And I think that that's why it was easy for you to make that decision. Well, if the man don't know himself, how he gonna know what to look for? And a lot of these men, they don't know themselves until they get with a woman, and then they start figuring out themselves. And it's like, oh, I do like to travel. Oh, I do like to do this. Oh, I do like to do that. And they didn't know that until they got with a certain type of female. So while I understand what you're saying, Vince, I do understand what Nadia is saying too. But with Nadia, Nadia, you got to get to know Vince and where how Vince get down. See, Vince is kind of rare, where it is and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes these topics on this type of platform, when you have so many people with substance, we can't relate because we don't understand. You know what I mean? So like he said, pick better men. I agree with that too. And like Quay said, women have to take accountability. You know what I mean? If you get with a man and, hey, you see that he not paying this bill and don't have this going, it's not going to change just because you come around. And I think that that's where women just have to make a better choice. But yeah, I think that lady, like Chloe said, I think that it might have been talked about, and she's like, nah, boo, I don't want to get married. And then once she did want to get married, she forgot to tell him. Because
that's my point. That's my point. I agree with you 100%. In the beginning, she was cool with the arrangement, the way it was presented. I believe she didn't get it. That's why he probably like, what? You know, like, because she probably was cool with it. We're going to move in together, whatever. We're going to split the bill, whatever situation. She probably was cool with it. But I'm just speaking from the female perspective, like Tay said. But then after a while, she probably was like, I thought maybe we might be moving, towards something, moved in, maybe we might be moving, and maybe it's not moving at the pace that maybe she thought it might move at, right? And my man just opened up a door for her to be able to ask the question that she probably been low key wanting to ask, but ain't been wanting to ask like Tay said, because she told him she was good with the arrangement. And so now it's like, okay, I'm switching up. But I would like to ask you a question, Quay Price, because you asked us about wasting resources. And I don't disagree. Like it is. It's a waste of his resources, the waste of her time. Okay, cool. We both wasting on both sides. So as a logical man, right? Because we always talk about how men are more logical, women are more emotional, just like Nadia said. We've already established that. So then as a logical man, why are you using your resources like that on somebody that you're not marrying?
I mean, no, that's a valid question. No, at the end
So
of the
there's some
day,
accountability that have to be had on both sides. Because why are you
I agree.
using those types of resources for somebody that ain't your wife?
I agree. No, I agree. No, the accountability is definitely on both sides. I just noticed when we have these types of discussions or these types of conversations, it's always pointed to the time that the female is wasting. Yet we never talk about what the man is wasting. Now, to your point, the young lady could have said to herself, okay, I'm cool with this arrangement. So she rolling with it, right? And I'm willing to bet money, because you mentioned tangibles earlier. I'm willing to bet money. There was some tangibles for her in there. She was getting some bills paid. She was feeling secure. He was helping her get a car, whatever it may be. So there was some stuff that was going on there, which is why she was rolling with it. So in her head, she might not be looking at it like a waste of time until this video came up and this man proposed this question to them. So that's the direction that I was seeing it from. But then at the same time, like I said, we never talk about the fact that this man, he's wasting resources. Because see, this type of conversation comes up all the time. We talk about the fact that women shouldn't be doing wifely duties before they marry. But we never talk about the fact that men shouldn't be doing husbandly duties before they marry. Women will extract those husbandly duties from that man before they marry. They'll call him for protection. They'll have him out here fixing tires and changing stuff and helping her pay bills and getting her hair done and nails done and all this stuff. We never talk about that. But as soon as the man extracts something from the female, then he's wasting her time. And that's the point that I was making. It's like, if we're going to call it a spade, let's call it a spade on both sides. At the end of the day, both of them wrong. Because see, I'm looking at the video. I'm not like my man. I'm not about to play with you like that. So see, that wouldn't even be going on. And then in her particular situation, she should have made her demands out the gate and set the tone out the gate on what it was going to be. And that was that. Right. Yeah, but see, the fact that she's still staying and rolling with it, she got to be accountable as well. So we got to call it what it is on both sides. So I'm not giving either one of them a pass. I just noticed that it's always one-sided when we had this conversation.
I'll say it's one-sided. I'll say it because it's probably going to take 10 minutes to get her point across.
My bad.
Don't talk about First Lady host.
Hey, listen.
Boy, ain't no way.
That's why I like to talk.
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Y'all, wow.
You made me forget. Oh, I was going to say, because 9 times out of 10, it's a two income household that we're talking about. Okay. 9 times out of, let me just say 6 times out of 10.
Okay.
It's everything is kind of being split because people now can't afford to do it on their own. So in terms of wasting resources, my point is, if I'm splitting the bills with you and I'm still doing the wifely duties and I don't have a ring on it, you have everything to benefit, but I have nothing. I'm cooking for you, I'm cleaning, I'm doing the laundry, I'm still splitting the bills with you. So what you're telling me, you got guidance and protection to offer?
So wait, Nadi, hold on. What? You know what? See, me and Vince, we be ready.
Wait. Say that again. You said the woman is not benefiting?
No,
if I'm doing,
basically, that's what she's saying.
If I am providing half, hold on. If I'm providing half of the financials, which the majority of households, I think today, Black women are now outpacing Black men in income.
Oh my God!
It is.
Nadia,
I'm in the lending industry. Listen,
going.
I'm in the lending industry. I'm getting loan applications.
Keep going.
I'm seeing that Black women are outpacing Black men in income. It's a statistic as well. They are heading the household in income. Now, for instance, if I were to do that and I said, okay, babe, we're going to split the bills. Are we going to split every other duty as well? Because now I'm expected to do all of these extra things for you, and I'm expected to financially contribute. I'm not doing that.
Wow.
Wait, I got.
You don't find that suspicious?
I'm sorry, Nadia. You on your own on this one.
Let me jump in.
I'll stand on my own on it. I ain't got no issues with it.
I can't get into that.
Let me jump in with this one. Let me jump
in. She eating her strawberries.
Let me jump in with this one. Let me jump in.
Give me another drink. Go ahead, man.
I'm a 50-year-old man. Just got
and that's why you are happy to get married as a 50-year-old, not as a 26-year-old.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, and that's why you're okay with getting married like that as a 50-year-old man versus a 26-year-old man.
Well, I did get married like that.
Trying to get married. A 50-year-old is like, okay.
Let me finish. Okay, let me understand. I want y'all to understand something here. Y'all ain't doing all that anyway. Because if you was doing all that, then maybe you would get married. You know how many young men I say these women don't cook. These women don't know how to get a stain out of shirt. These women can barely do some laundry. All they want to do is pay 50-50. So you do it. Ain't nobody doing no cooking. I did more cooking and cleaning. I mean, you act like these women is women of old. Their mamas wasn't cooking and cleaning. They don't know how to cook. Name me a 30-year-old that know how to really cook and cooking like that.
I can say myself. I handle mine.
Most people ain't cooking like that. But let me get back to the whole why people getting together. They doing it because of money situations. I done lived with 4-5 women, engaged 3 failed marriages. And I went into it, you know what? Well, you live on the east side, I live on the west side. And if we live together, then we can be closer. I got 2 kids, you got a kid. You know, we can, nothing to do with marriage and nothing like that. It was financial. It was easier. And the older I get, the more I understand the things that my grandparents told me. Don't shack up. And the problem is, these boys have been so mummified, they move from their mama's house to the girlfriend's house. And in that or mama's house, and the girlfriend, the one that's pushing it. He ain't got no job, he ain't got no car. Oh, well, we love each other. I tell my boys, get yourself together without the help of a woman first. Instead of this 50-50 garbage, and that's the problem.
But
then also we're not dating with intention. If you want to get married, if you know you want to get married, and see that's what the smart men get married. The smart ones get married because they understand I'm not going to use all my resources on something that I can't control. And
you can control me, Vince.
Yes, I wouldn't want to control you, baby.
You need to learn no me, Tay.
Stop the cap.
And see, that's the problem. You ain't found a man that you can relinquish control to. You don't even understand the beauty of having a man that you can relinquish control to. And you can say, yes, baby, he controls me. You don't even understand that type of provision. I get it. You don't understand.
First off,
Wait a
control
minute.
carries a very negative connotation.
My wife will get on here right now. My wife will get on here right now and say I control her. And every time you see her in the picture, she's smiling.
But she's not gonna use the word control.
Her life ain't never been this good.
She's not gonna use the word control. She's just gonna say she's just letting you be in the man. Because the
she
control.
Spoke up. She said, "I'm on here right now."
She is. Look at her. Baby, do I control?
No, let me tell you something.
Remy, they said we need a comment. Drop that comment.
I don't think. Okay, but listen, Nadia. If
control,
I have my
okay. When you driving the car, who controlling the steering wheel?
Whoever's driving.
But you
that's
don't
all
keep.
I mean.
But why you keep using that word?
Boom! I handle shit.
Yeah, because she said, wait a minute, Vince, because she's not gonna say the word control, because that's not a real good word. She's just gonna say you be man and you be being the man. Well, that's not control. That's just her being submissive, letting you be the man.
Lead. Okay, people put just like people say, that submission is a bad word. I submit to my wife every day. I submit to my wife. I submit to my wife.
Okay, wait. I want to ask Nadia a question. If I have my own place and I got $2,500 worth of bills, and then the man he has his own place and has $2,500 worth of bills, we move in together. How is that the female not benefiting? Even if they going 50-50 with the bills, because at the end of the day, that's still alleviating me from $1,200 worth of bills, $1,250. So how is the female not benefiting? What happens is females get comfortable and they stop. They don't do nothing. Just like these little housewives. They man got all that money and they don't be getting their credit together. They don't open up no business. They don't be doing nothing. And then when the man leave them, they left with nothing. But what was you doing the whole time that he was taking care of you? So if I come from a situation where I'm paying all my own bills, he alleviate me some. It's up to me to do whatever I need to do for me to get ahead. Whether that's get my credit together, whether that's, pay a couple bills down, whether that's go, what I'm saying, whatever I can better my life. So how is the female not benefiting? Because I definitely understand how the male benefiting, because I feel like women provide stability, so how is the female not benefiting monetarily when it comes to that? If I'm coming from my own household where I'm paying for my bill.
That's the only one thing that I'm benefiting from. What else am I benefiting for?
From him being there and having protecting the man in the house. See, that's the thing. We're not valued. We only value, and that's why I tell men you need to make as much money as you can make. Because that's
wait, what you mean? I'm still benefiting. I'm still benefiting because I'm not gonna date. If I'm dating with intentions, I'm not gonna date a man that I don't feel like is my best friend. So what I'm benefiting is somebody that I can call to make me feel better, or somebody that can emotionally support me, not just financially. And I think that when women get into situationships and they get into them because of financial, it's not gonna work, because at the end of the day, that's not your best friend. You're not confiding in that person. Y'all not pillow talking. You're not doing nothing. Like, if you actually like your mate, then you are benefiting.
I can call a friend. I can phone a friend. I can phone family members and all of that.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, you want to hold on. Wait a minute. You want to
hear me out. Hear me out. Hold on.
I don't need a man.
Hold on. I don't. Listen. And that's the part that we put the negative connotation on, is I don't need a man. I don't. I really don't. Do I want a man? Absolutely. And wanting to me carries more value than needing, because needing is like, I need air, I need water, I need shelter. Those are things that I need to survive. I don't need a man to survive. I can want one, and wanting him and desiring him carries more weight to me than needing. Needing just means that if I don't have him, I'm getting ready to go down. That's not what I want.
You are getting ready to go down. You are getting ready to go down.
Huh?
You are. Just like with men. It goes both. Nadia, not at all. Nadia, it goes both ways. I'm gonna tell you right now. I need my wife. I need her. And I got more money and grown kids, business, but the peace, the companionship, the legacy that we're leaving for our children. No, I need my wife. And that's why I didn't want to live this life without a wife. That's probably why I had so many engagements, because I've seen how my grandmother and grandfather lived, and then I seen my mama who worked her whole life and died broke. And y'all thinking this little money y'all talking about? My mama had good jobs, but there's a certain level that you really need to retire on that most people ain't gonna get as a single person, and most women ain't making no whole lot of money. They're making good money, but they ain't making a whole lot of money. They ain't making 2 incomes worth. Most people, just like most men.
But you gotta be
need
smart with
2 incomes too. You need, and then I'm so passionate about this because the one thing that breaks my heart more than anything else is my kids. And because you gotta understand, I've had 2 different lives. I had a life as a teenage father and as a single man, raising kids that was 5 hours away, struggling paying child support, struggling this and not being there for my kids like I wanted to because I had to work, and then balancing it out. Well, if I got to work to pay the child support because your mama going to be acting a goddamn fool if I don't pay this child support. But then I got to live my life. But then, well, Dad, you didn't come to this. Well, Dad, you didn't do this. And Dad, you didn't do that. But now I'm with my kids every single day. There is nothing that can break me and my wife up. Maybe one thing, but I don't think that's going to happen because I understand now because I went through that. And a lot of people, and I have to pinch myself too, because this is really a fairy tale. Me and my wife talk about it every time. This don't happen. You don't get second shots to do it all over again the right way. So then people just say, well, it ain't going to happen. My wife, and I know she don't mind me saying this, my wife has 2 kids by 2 different guys. My wife ain't no perfect person. I'm not no perfect. I had a child at 17. Had another one at 22. 3 failed engagements. I'm not no perfect person. I'm not sitting up here talking about I'm better than nobody else. But I'm trying to get people to understand that we need each other. Forget all this want. Well, because want mean you need that. Kids need a father. And it ain't no good father. They need a father. Children need a mother.
Children need love. Children need direction. Children need stability. If you can't provide that even with 2 people, then it's not necessary to have 2 people.
But wouldn't it be easier with 2 people? If you set it up right. See, most people go to the negative from the jump.
Yes.
They don't never think that, okay, that's just like me. I'm the type of person. I'm a very pragmatic person. I believe if you follow the recipe, your product probably gonna come out right. That's the type of person I am. But most people ain't following the recipe. That's the problem. Ain't nobody following the recipe. The recipe is getting yourself together, learning what you want, if you want marriage or if you don't want marriage. But we put all that aside and start having babies out of wedlock and getting all these bills, and then we get it with people and trauma bonding and and then trying to we the ones that messed that up. I'll tell you, I messed up the first time. But that's what I chose. My wife will tell you, she messed up the first time, but that's who she chose because of drama, whatever else. And she had 2 parents in the household. So what I'm saying is we got to get from, if we don't come together and need each other, not just want, but need each other. Now I might understand that maybe, we have made some decisions that might make it harder than most to do that. But what are we teaching our kids? Are we teaching? I don't want my daughter to grow up and feel like she ain't gonna find no husband. I want my son to grow up and find like I'm gonna have a baby mama and be battling with her in court and can't see my kids the way I want to see them. I want them to have that traditional white picket fence lifestyle, and they can have it.
Yeah,
with the right person.
Let me ask a question.
No, they have to be the right person. Because if they the right person, they gonna get the right person, and that's the problem. We ain't the right person.
Let me ask a quick question.
The attitude that you don't need somebody, then you're gonna that's like me saying, well, I got this and I can just, I don't really I don't really need you, but if you come along, then it's okay.
So then you're automatically, so you're saying I'm going to the negative. You're automatically going to the negative and assuming what my personality type is within a relationship and saying, I don't need. Never said that.
You said it. You said you don't need a man. You said
I don't. But you're assuming that my attitude is that in a relationship, and that is not the case. I love having partnership. I love being a part of a team, believe it or not. However, I'm not going to be the center, the forward, the power forward, and the freaking in the point guard. I'm not going to do all
asking you to do that. Ain't
But
nobody asking you to, but you have to be a certain type of woman to get a certain type of man. See, most of y'all want to be this aggressive, masculine. That's why y'all keep getting these feminine, underperforming men.
The feminine underperforming man is the one that'll put a ring on it, though.
Well, not
that's
feminine.
not what I'm going for, because obviously I would have been married, right?
Pardon me? I'm sorry.
The feminine guy that's the simp is the one that would put a ring on it in 6 months and that I could control and dominate it. So obviously that's not the type of man I'm looking for.
Who you gonna control and dominate?
I don't want to control and dominate anyone. I want somebody that hears and knows what we can do together to accomplish the best that we both can and bring out the best in one another and help one another. I don't want somebody that expects me to do half plus bring in half the money, or I'm sorry, to bring in half of my income plus do all of my wifely duties. That's not what I'm gonna take.
Okay, wait.
But the respect that my boyfriend has for me is because he knows that I can do it without him. Because before he came around, I was doing it without him. And that makes him want to do it even more. And I understand what you're saying, because I was once there. It's almost like you want an alpha on the outside, but a beta on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can't, and most of the time that's not how it goes, because Nadia, I've had those problems. Like me being a more of aggressive, I'm not going to say alpha. I am kind of alpha, but more of aggressive female. I keep getting these beta men that they're great men, nice men, but I could tell them what to do. And I don't like that I could tell them what to do. You know what I mean? So I think that sometimes we have to take accountability for what we do, because I remember when he first came around, and like you said, I am an aggressive person, but then when I'm in a relationship, I'm definitely not aggressive to him. You know, and it's a lot of people that, you know, from the outside looking in, they like, shoot, Shantae crazy, Shantae wild, she this, that, and the other. But all the wildest man is like, dang, but she takes such good care of me at home. And she's there for me emotionally. And you know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand where you're coming from. But I think what Vince is saying is the dynamic of a household that a marriage can offer. You know, and I think that's more of the thing as far as the stability with the kids. Yes, you can have stability with the man being gone. The stability can be you with me Monday through Friday and you with your dad for the weekend. I mean, that still brings stability, but at the end of the day, like Vince said, it's way much easier when you are doing it at home. And on top of that, when it's in-house, you are seeing the love and you are seeing the appreciation. It's not just monetary. But I understand what you're saying, Nadia, because I feel like I can have a legacy for, like you said, you're a lender. I bought my house by myself, and I can still pass this down to my daughter without a man. So I understand what you're saying, but what he's saying is, in order for us as a community to continue to grow, we have to have a certain dynamic. And sometimes that dynamic comes from having a healthy two-parent household. I think
but that word control would never be used by anyone that I would date. Sorry, Vince, I'm not going to take that. But
no, that was the wrong word.
I said the right word. I said control, because I control shit. Whatever.
There you go. I'm not going to take that. That's a very. I'm not going to take a man.
So wait.
I can't even sit there and say you control. Like, oh no, you way out of bounds, boo.
So let me just ask this, because now I'm confused. So y'all say that y'all want this alpha man. Y'all say that y'all want this man that leads, but then you said that he can't control you, yet leadership involves control.
The president,
how does that work?
Let's just take this. The president has a cabinet, correct? He has multiple people who have specialties who know exactly that point of view and what the best ideas are. He'll take those ideas and he'll think, you know what, I think you're right, or whatever it may be, or I think you're wrong. And he'll make that final decision. But I'm not going to have somebody that's going to just do what they want to do because they feel like it's in the best interest.
I didn't say that.
That's not going to happen.
I didn't say
but that is what. Hold on. But that's what
that.
The word the connotation behind control says exactly that.
No,
that's what that says. So you need to remove that word control from your vocabulary when it comes to.
I don't. No, I don't. I'm gonna use what works for me. And my thing is, but the president has the responsibility. If anything go wrong, they ain't gonna blame the cabinet.
No,
they're gonna blame the president. And my thing is, if the president has a cabinet and they don't agree, he still has the control to push that button, right?
So basically, it's the size of whose balls are bigger.
No.
So
It's
well,
just,
that's what I'm saying. You ain't got no balls. I got the balls. That's why I got the balls. You ain't got the balls.
It's just structure. It's a structure.
You hold them.
That's all it is. It's a
I'm not
structure.
holding nothing. See what I mean? So there's that submissive subversion thing of control and just male dominance and just talking down.
So
like I'm not gonna happen,
y'all. That's the problem. That's the problem.
I know it ain't gonna happen. I know it ain't gonna happen.
The problem is we're putting our own connotation on words when we're not just accepting the word for. Why are we redefining? So control is the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. The power to influence or direct. So this is the thing. You're talking about the connotation, and I totally understand why you're saying that, because that's what we do these days. We take words and we give them a meaning based off, and from a female standpoint, based off of how we feel about those words. That's a female thing. That's a female thing. That's why we're the ones always screaming, why you gotta say it like that? Why you gotta use the word control? Why you gotta use the word submission? We attach an emotion to a word. So when a man says, I want to be in control, we hear dominate. We hear dominance, right?
And the power to influence,
and
right?
The power to influence.
Well, I should have the power to influence. She has power to influence.
There you go. So then we have a dual income.
No, we don't have a dual.
Not controlling.
Hold on. Let Chloe finish up. We gotta get ready to roll in a minute. Go ahead, Chloe.
So, like I was saying, we attach an emotion to a word, and that's what's happening. That's why all of a sudden we have a problem with words that we've used our whole life. Now, all of a sudden, we don't want to submit to a man, even though literally, biblically, that is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to submit. Literally, we are supposed to submit. But what people don't understand about the actual act of submitting is it's a dance. Just like you submit to your husband, there's submission that he also has to make to you in the process. You guys are submitting to each other, but women get so hung up on that. But in order for a marriage to work, you guys both have to submit to it.
So Vince, what do you submit in your relationship?
There is a level of submission. You have to put yourself in a position where, yes, he is going to have some influence on the decisions you make. He is going to have some influence on what you guys do. Literally.
I want to know what Vince's idea of his submission to his relationship is.
My submission that
I guess I'm done.
If there's an important decision to make, I will ask my wife about it. I don't make no decisions without her. She know where all the money at. I don't make that, and I submit to her when it comes to the children. I submit to her when it comes to the kids.
I think I don't like the word.
I'm not gonna make a decision and not get the wise counsel of my wife. Even in my business, I get the wise counsel of my wife, and I had my business long before we got together. But I still ask her, babe, what you think about this? Because she's a woman and she sees things from a woman's eye that I don't see as a man's eye. And I'll give you another perfect example. I own a business and have employees. For a long time, I didn't have a manager because my employees said, oh, well, we don't need no manager. We can do it, Mr. Williams. We know what we're doing. We don't need no manager. And it was always chaos. It was always confusion. And I didn't want to be a manager of a bunch of women. I just didn't want to do that. I just didn't, because with this Me Too thing and all that, I just want to. So what I did is I got a manager to be in control. Now it's somebody who's responsible and who I can go to, because without a manager, it was chaos. It was, oh, well, I didn't know I was supposed to do that, and she didn't do this, and I'm not going to be doing her work.
Wait, Vince, this is why we don't like the word control, because control is attached to dictatorship. No, dictatorship. and
Correct.
not a
That's the wrong
democracy.
person.
Hold on. Wait a minute, because when he say, okay, so first of all, it's not control when your man is telling you something, because he's telling you something in the best interest of you and y'all. Okay, so it's really not. So it's not really control when it's coming from your man. But what I'm saying, because I understand how she feels, because I don't particularly care for the word control either. So when we think about I'm talking about me and Nadia. When we think about control, it's just what you saying. You got a manager to control things. You got a manager to dictate your staff. So when I think about control, that's what I think about, a dictatorship.
And you know what? My
not
business has been 10 times better because I put that in place.
Because
now
you have a
running
dictatorship.
like clockwork.
That's why we have law. That's because dictatorships work. Some countries are still under dictatorships. So I understand what you're saying, but I am telling you, I'm just explaining from somebody that's in the middle. I'm explaining to you why she feels like that, because dictatorship is attached to control is attached to dictatorship. So when you were explaining how you hired somebody to dictate your staff, aka control, that's why we don't like that word.
And if you don't fall in line, guess what? I'm taking your check because you're fired. That's what that is.
But hold on. Okay, but wait a minute.
That's how the world works, though.
But hold on, wait a minute. So you guys have never had management that you've been like, that's a good manager. Yeah. That's a good supervisor. Okay. Sure. And that person still had the same amount of control to take your job, still had the same amount of, but guess what? It was their approach. Everybody who has control is not waiting to take that control and just like dominate over you. Everybody that has control is not waiting for an opportunity to, humble you. Everybody that has control is not waiting to abuse it. Because someone who really is in it for the right reasons and whose intentions are good, a man that is coming into your life and he's really coming into your life to bring nothing but peace and joy and rest and protection and provision, he is not going to take his role as the leader who has a amount of control because he's a leader and the head of the household. He's not going to take that, and he's not waiting for his chance to beat down on you. He's not waiting on his chance to humble you. He's not waiting on his chance to dominate you. That's not what he's trying to do. He is trying to protect, provide, guide, lead. Every decision he makes is making it for the betterment of the family.
And that's where I go.
That's not what he's trying to do. So what we got to do is we got to stop going to the negative. We have to stop. Every time somebody says something, it's not because it's coming from a negative place, right? Earlier, we talked about old girl in her internal racism, but we actually have to be honest. And we have to say, as women, we have internalized some of this stuff. Some of this, it's just the word submit. It's just the word control. And because maybe we've had some experiences, or we've seen it, or we've experienced it personally, and we've seen what somebody who abuses this, or what somebody who doesn't know how to behave, we've seen it patterned, or we've been in a situation. So now in our minds, that's all we think. We think if I give somebody control, all they're going to do is run over me. All they're going to do is dominate me. All they're going to do. And that is not what the right person wants to do. They want to come into your life and add to it. They are not trying to take nothing from you.
So and how about we replace the
word question, Chloe?
As women, I think sometimes we get in our own way. Like we so stuck on what we
Chloe,
think.
question. Telling your wife what to wear, is that controlling or is that guidance?
It depends. How is he? Is he saying you can't wear this, you can't wear that? Or is he saying, baby, I like you, you know what? I like the way you look in that red dress.
Okay, hold on. So let me understand what you asking. So he's saying you can't wear the red dress. Why did he say that?
He might say you can't wear that red dress because it's too short. Is that controlling or is that guidance?
Well,
okay, so
okay, I'm sorry. I thought
so let me answer that as a man. That's guidance. Yeah, if a guy is telling you that something is too short, that's because he's a man and he knows how other men are going to be looking at you. And he may be saying to himself, I don't want these dudes lusting over my wife or lusting over my girl. So from a male perspective, that is guidance. Now, the question to that is how do y'all receive that?
I think it's how you say it, not what you say. Like Chloe was kind of saying,
Wow.
because I would understand if you said to me, "Hey, you know what? That dress a little bit too short, and you can't." But if you say, you can't wear that because it's too short," and you don't come with nothing after it, it feels controlling, And I
See, this don't this don't make sense to me. This don't make sense to me. And the reason it doesn't make sense to me is because I feel like we back at the same point where ladies be out here doing a lot of picking and choosing. Now, one minute y'all say y'all want the man to call the shots because y'all don't want to have to make the decision. Y'all want him to plan the date because y'all don't want to have to do that and do this and all of that. Y'all want the man to handle the business. That's what I hear the ladies say. But then when the man does that, then you want to label him controlling. Yet when a man does that, then you want to say he dominating you. But then I'll hear ladies say, and I see the videos all the time, I'll hear ladies say, "Ooh, I need a man who can dominate me." So help me understand how, I guess I'm gonna go back to my question that I always ask ladies. Ladies, how do y'all want this to go? Because y'all say that y'all don't want a dude or a dictator, but if you actually listen to some of the stuff y'all saying, y'all sound like dictators. So let's go ahead and have that conversation, because I'm hearing a lot of dictator type stuff that y'all saying.
I'm not dictating. I'm setting my standards. I'm setting my boundaries of what I will and won't accept.
Okay,
I am dictating. I am dictating. Chloe said her battery about to go dead, but I am dictating because I want you to say, "Hey, baby, this is how you get your credit together." I don't want you to say, "Hey, baby, don't wear that." I want you to guide me and control me when you say, "Hey, don't do this because we need to do this." Control me like that. Don't control me and tell me what I can wear. Don't control me and tell me, don't.
But you know what the thing is, and I think that's the problem with these situations. You can't have it both ways.
Oh,
yeah.
Men don't get it both ways. We really don't. So you got to choose then. If you want those standards, then that's probably a $50,000 or $60,000 guy that you gonna have to. But you don't want that either, though. You want a but just like with me, I'm a boss all the time because that's just who I am. Even if I'm at the restaurant, my wife will say, "Ben, stop controlling." But that's who I am, and she understands that and she appreciates that because it works. It works.
Absolutely. If two people are in agreement,
just like y'all say y'all turn off this, but y'all really don't. People are who they are, period. If you, I'm this way at work, but I'm this way at home. No, not really. Not really. Oh, I can be submissive in a relationship, but I want to be in control any other time. No, not really.
Man, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. This boy don't went way long. No, y'all definitely got to pick one.
Emotional down there. I don't know.
We got to get up out of here. I'm gonna take some closing statements because we got to go. I'm gonna go to Chloe first since she about to die over here. So Chloe, I'm gonna go to Shanti. I'm gonna go to Nadia. I'm gonna go to Vince, and we out of here. Chloe, what you want to say before we get out of here?
I mean, I just think it's the hypocrisy for me. I mean, I'll have to say this. Like, we're talking about, wanting a man to come into our lives and bring these resources, right? And then we start having a conversation about 50-50 and we go, well, why do I have to bring, and this is not to any one particular person, because honestly, the stuff that I hear on this panel is the stuff I hear on all panels. Why, 50-50, well, why do I have to pay half of the bills and then at the end of the day, also do all my wifely duties? But I think it is important to remember that a man is paying half to in some 50 and to 90% of the bills in certain situations, and he's still a husband and he still has to work his job and still come home and do things that men do around the house. Like, I think we sometimes, like Vince said, we discredit the fact that men, the right men, I'm not talking about the bum dudes that some women is picking. I'm talking about the right kind of men, the men that want to marry you, right? Those men don't just work and then come home and sit on the couch and play Madden. Those men are not doing that. Those men are coming home and they know your oil needs to be changed. They know your tires need to be rotated. They know that, there was a knock in your car and they got to go take that and get that fixed. There's men that know that the sink is something going on with the sink and they need to fix the toilet. These are men who know that it's not just I go to work, I make a check, I bring it home, and then I don't have to do anything else. These are men that know that they also are fathers and that they need to be a part of their their children's lives, right? Those men. So now, if you don't have that type of man, baby, that's on you. That's on you. If you picking a man that got you paying half the bills, but he don't want to do nothing else, baby, that's on you. Like I said, ladies, let's stop going to the worst case scenario, man. Let's stop going to the worst definition of a word. Let's stop being so negative. Damn. Come on, y'all. Snap out of it. Part of the reason why you're not attracting the man you want is because you're putting that out. Please understand, energy is a very real thing. And you putting that energy out. That's what men's seeing. That's what they're getting. You caught up on a word when a man just want to come in your life and change it. And another thing about not needing a man, the whole foundation of the society was built on men. The reason why we can feel so comfortable, ladies, the reason why we can feel so comfortable is because most of the industries that we now are dominating, and I'm using quotation marks, that we're dominating foundationally, were started by men. Men. And now that they've created a whole structure for us, now we can come in and we can benefit from that structure. But the first thing we do is when we start to excel in that area, when we start to excel, here we go, Rose, baby, calm down. When we start to excel, then we go, I don't need a man. But literally the whole society that was created foundationally by men. Fact check me. Come on, y'all. Up until a certain point, women was working, but let's be honest, we were working in homes, we were doing nannying, we was doing stuff. We was always working. I'm not saying we weren't, but we weren't in the industries. We are now. And yes, we are excelling. And that's wonderful. But let's stop capping like we don't need men. Because when something really go down, even if it's not your man, it's going to be some man that's going to take care of it for you. So I think we have to stop just devaluing men because of life experiences. We have to stop devaluing men because some of us, not all of us, some of us have just had piss poor choices. Period. And because of that, now those life experiences have brought trauma to us. And now we're choosing, I don't need a man. When at the end of the day, yes, we do. Because we can't even, women, we can't procreate. All of the things that we love in this world, all the beauty, we need men. And guess what? Men need us just as much as we need them. So this narrative of we don't need each other, it's not helping us as a community. It's not helping us. Baby, Rose, baby, you can disconnect anytime you feel like it. You can disconnect anytime you feel like it, baby. Scroll. You can disconnect. I don't normally do that, but you can disconnect anytime we don't like that energy in our chat. You can disconnect anytime you want. I'll land.
There it is. Let me go to Shantae. Shantae, you want to say anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, I really don't want to say nothing about this. My closing statements are dedicated to Nadia. I'm a little younger. I'm 40 years old. But there is hope for us, girl. It is hope. Okay, I got a nice little boyfriend. Okay, at an old age, there is hope for us. Cause let me tell you something. I love God. Okay, but I don't want to hold his hand on the beach. I don't want to hold my homegirl hand on the beach. I don't want to hold nobody's hand but my man. Okay, and you get to a certain age where we're gonna live, and I'm not saying settle. I'm not saying settle at all. But you get to a certain age, and while we understand, because I understand when you say you don't need, but At our ripe age, we still have a lot of living, God willing, we have a lot of living to do. Just experiencing the world, experiencing experiences, just a lot of things. You want to do that with a BFF that ain't your homegirl. Because let me tell you something. When your homegirl go find a man, she ditching you. Okay? She leaving you by the wayside. And she don't care if you kicking sand and making sand hearts in the sand by yourself. She don't care because she with her man and they holding hands. So I understand we don't need a man, Nadia. I understand that. But it sure is nice, you know what I'm saying, to have somebody go get you something to drink from the refrigerator at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just saying. And then I wanted to say to Vince, I do feel like sometimes I drop the ball with my daughter as well. But since you are in a healthy relationship, you can still show her that love is real. And no matter what age, you can still show her a healthy, just because she's not as young as the last two does not mean that she cannot still learn from you and Remy. And you don't have to teach her nothing, just her coming around and seeing the love and feeling the love. And you know what I'm saying? Because they have to understand that you're a whole different man than what you were. Because my boyfriend also has older kids and younger kids, and the younger kids are living a better life than the older kids did. So as long as you understand that, because sometimes I be wanting to give up because I be like, man, she just not gonna understand. She's 20 years old. She got a 5-month-old. So I'm a grandmother. But at the end of the day, like, you definitely, and I understand it take, for the child to receive, but just a little talking to. But it's not too late though. It's not too late for her to see a healthy situation because you still her dad regardless. You know what I mean? And just because the situation might not be with her mom, I'm sure Remy still is a great parent, whether it be to her kids or not her kids. You know what I mean? So just don't give up on them, because they need us. They honestly need us because they being guided by society. I mean, they being guided by like social media and stuff. So we just can't give up on them. Just be glad, just be glad that you in your lifetime, like Remy was saying, lucky enough to have that healthy love where they can actually say, where your daughter won't grow up and be like, man, my dad was a player all his life. He's such and such and such and such. Now they can say, yeah, he had a healthy marriage and his wife took good care of him. And you know what I'm saying? Now that they can say that about you. So just don't give up on them. But Nadia, girl, if I find somebody your age, I'm gonna send them your way, girl.
Thank you.
I ain't mad at that. Let me go to Nadia. You want to say anything before we get out of here, Nadia?
I'm just saying, I'm just gonna leave it at yes, I am a single parent. I am an independent parent. I respect myself. I respect my values. I will not settle, and we use that word. I will not take just a man to have one. I have my requirements. I have the things that I want out of a relationship. And if that requires me, or if that makes me single for a lifetime, that's okay with me. I've accepted that. But I'm not going to accept someone, in this case, who's subpar. I'm just not going to do it. But to go back to what Chloe was saying, that the structure has been built on the foundation has been built by men. Don't discount and don't discredit the women who have built a lot. There have been great leadership in women. There has been great leadership in warriors that were women historically. We can go back and quote the Bible. That's fine if you do that. But if you look throughout time, women have been great leaders as well. So I think that there needs to be some recognition and not everything is on the backbone of a man. It's just not.
Okay, hold on. Let me just defend that though. So I think the point that Chloe was making, that's not the point that she was making. So I don't think in saying that essentially this infrastructure that we exist in was essentially built by men, that's not discrediting women. So we always understand that there's women involved in the process, right? So we know that. But at the end of the day, we got to be realistic. Yeah, we got to be realistic. Yeah, I was looking at a crew of dudes out on I-75 working on I-75. So without that road, all of those thousands of millions of people can't get back and forth to where they need to get. Now, I'm going to be honest. I didn't see any women out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be honest with you. Now, I'm not saying that there may not be some women civil engineers in the back office and all of that. I'm not saying that at all. But I didn't see any women out there. So we got to be realistic when we make that type of point about men essentially creating these infrastructures that we exist in. Yeah, but if these guys stop going to work, the power grid goes down.
Right.
If these guys stop going to work, the roads turn into dirt.
Right.
So we got to be honest about that thing. If these dudes stop driving all of these semi trucks everywhere, all across the country, we get no food.
Right.
So
My
we got to be
cousin's a
honest
female.
about that.
She's a semi-driver.
Say that again.
I said my cousin is a female. She's a semi-driver.
No, I understand that. I understand that, and she's probably in that 3% of female drivers. So I understand what you're saying. I'm not knocking that and saying that female drivers don't exist. What I'm saying is if all of these guys that are behind these infrastructures, if they disappear, this world is going to look very different. And I'm just going to leave it at that. We ain't got to do the tit for tat. I know what it is.
So men bring the muscle. I got it.
Yeah, so we just got to call it what it is.
It's a little bit more than muscle. It's a little bit more than muscle. And the reason why I said what I said, y'all,
we gonna leave it at what he said.
I'm gonna finish. I don't know what. Can I just say this? Because I woke up today and chose violence. I don't know what's with women today not wanting me to speak. It's because I'm just spitting too much truth. What is it? I noticed that once somebody starts speaking and they start speaking against something that you believe, or they start speaking against something that you hold as a standard, then let's get them off the stage. Let's shut them down. All we do now is when people come out and we're speaking truth, is all we want to do is cancel them. And I guess I just don't understand that impulse to do that. We want to cancel the word control. We want to cancel the word submission. We want to say everything is bad and negative. And I guess I just don't understand that. I don't get that. As long as somebody is saying something that strokes our ego, or saying something that we like, or saying something that, backs up how we feel, then we're good. The minute somebody comes up and says something that we don't like, we want to shut them down. We don't want to hear it.
That's not the case.
I made the point about, and I'm not speaking directly to anybody, but if the hit dog holler, but I made the point about the infrastructure. And already, ladies, I just need y'all to understand why I'm saying this. Already it went to, I'm saying something about women. And that's crazy to me, because all I was trying to say, and it should not have taken Quay to clear that up, because what I said was fine the way I said it. All I was trying to say is that men have put a lot of structure in place for us. That doesn't mean that as women, we have not helped, we have not grown, we have not supported, we have not been a part of processes. I never said anything like that. I said men have laid a lot of the foundation for us structurally. And we all know that to be true. But clearly that was a trigger. And I'm just like, wow, ladies, we don't take the time to look at ourselves and go, is it me? Is there something about me? Why am I being triggered by this stuff? Why is it that when somebody says something that isn't inherently true, because it is true what I said, it's factual. We could look it up.
It was the other comment that you made after it and around that statement. But that's okay. That's okay.
People was triggered. I'm using this as an example to make a point. As ladies, we're doing exactly what men say we always do. We always lead with our emotions. And so it doesn't allow us to be logical. It doesn't allow us to. It makes it hard for us to be objective. And the truth is, we don't want to own that. Because if we do, then we have to address it.
Okay. All right. Nadia, was you all set?
I'm not going to respond. I'm going to leave it because we're trying to get off of here.
I got you. Let me go to Vince. Vince, you want to say anything before you get out of here?
I just want to say that I love this panel, and I come on here to be totally transparent and totally honest. And I know my tone or my approach might be a little bit harsh or a little bit raw, but it needs to be. I'm not trying to cool the symptoms. I'm trying to kill the cancer. And for those of you who think that I don't love women, my grandmother is on tattoos all over my body. My baby is named after my grandmother. The business that I run right now was started by my grandmother, raised by a single mother who put me in Jesu and Benedictine and took a bus to work so I could go to the best schools. Women. I had a grandfather, but mainly women. But you know what I seen at the end for my mother and for my aunt was sadness. Was thinking her life was over at 65. Not because she didn't have a man, but because she had spent her whole life and really didn't have nobody to love. That's that I can say that my mother, I've never seen my mother really in love. My whole life. You know how sad that is for me? My aunt never even had a boyfriend. You know how sad that is? That's not normal. So yes, I'm very passionate about it because I love my sisters. And for everybody keeps saying that you don't want, that's like saying I don't want a Bentley. No, you don't want a Bentley because you can't get a Bentley. But maybe if you qualify for a Bentley, then you can get one. I had to change. I said, okay, if I want a woman that's going to do this, then I got to do that. I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to be the man that I'm supposed to be. I'm not going to be the provider. I'm not going to be the protector. I'm just, well, if it ain't 50-50, and if I can't get this, but I ain't got nothing, no. I'm sitting here saying, but I don't have nothing.
Speak for yourself.
Ladies, put the ego down. Put the ego down. Put the ego down. Y'all got more ego than men. Y'all saying y'all ain't gonna settle. Somebody gonna have to settle for y'all. Because best believe, if you ain't on your A game, the man you want can get better.
And the woman he want can get better too. That's the problem. It's like it's one way. It's not. It's not.
If they could get better, it wouldn't be all these single women.
Wouldn't be all these single men either. Big facts. Wouldn't be all these single men either.
You know why you know why you don't hear, and I understand the point to where y'all say, because a lot of guys who come from my type of thinking are some cornballs, and so they gotta push this macho thing because you know they really can't get no women. But and I ain't trying to brag and nothing, but I always was that dude out here.
Yeah.
So I can kind of understand where y'all, because a few of these guys be weirdos. I get it. They're like, oh, well, you got to make 100,000 because they wouldn't even look at you. But they was looking at me 20 years ago. So I can kind of understand that. But I get on this panel because I'm the type of man that y'all really want. The type of man.
You wouldn't even last a day. Not even.
Kinda.
You wouldn't make it through dinner.
The type of man. Just because I'm not saying I might be too short for you, Brian, but the type of man that's first of all gonna love your kids like they're theirs. And that's the first thing y'all gonna have to realize. Y'all coming with some kids that ain't there. So somebody gonna have to settle for y'all kids. First of all.
I have no attraction to Vince. Vince is happily married. But
that's the truth, though. Somebody got to settle for some kids that ain't there.
Vince is a nice guy.
And also understand that you never gonna really get the appreciation that you really deserve because you ain't their daddy. You never thought about that, have you? See, he ain't gonna never really get the appreciation that you deserve.
Do about what?
So somebody gonna have to settle, and I'm not talking for you, Nadia. I'm talking for so many women who got kids. But I ain't gonna have to settle. Somebody gonna have to settle for you. Somebody had to settle for me.
For sure. You make adjustments. I've made adjustments over the years because I ain't asking for the same dude that I was asking for 20 years ago, but not because
But you asking for
because of
more.
me.
But you're asking for more, and you bringing less. You're
Oh,
asking for
no.
more than what you would have asked for at 30 when you had no kids and you still could have 8 kids. But now you 40 and you asking for more. You asking for more provision? Yes, you are.
Well, he should make more at 40 than he did at 20. He should be able to provide better, correct?
But what he getting?
We just gonna have to agree to disagree.
But what is he? Most
because
men
she said
want a
Vince,
legacy and kids,
make
and
it
he
through
can't
dinner.
get that.
We just gonna have to let it go. We gonna have to just we just gonna have to. Let me tell you something, because that was crazy to me. Because like I said, that kind of blew me back. But we just gonna have to agree to disagree, okay? Because I don't know if you talking about the man 20 years ago wouldn't make it through dinner, or you talk about the current Vince wouldn't make it through dinner.
Well, let me say this. I don't know
make it through dinner?
Personally. You.
I ain't even.
You didn't hear that part, Vince.
I didn't hear that part. I wouldn't make it through dinner.
No, but what I'm saying is what I'm saying is not. What I say is
for
hold
real.
on.
Your loss.
I don't know Vince
if
personally.
I couldn't make it through dinner, it would be your loss, boo.
All right. We got to get up out of here. We got to get up out of here. We got to get up out of here.
I love you,
we got to get up out of here.
You still my sister.
We got to get up out of here.
Me and Vince could kick it, but me and Vince, we would never make. Oh Lord.
All right, we got to get up out of here. Let me just say this.
I love y'all. I really do.
For sure. Let me just say this real quick before we get out of here. I got to address this one comment, then we out of here. This will be my closing right here. It's a comment from Rose Jones. She said women should essentially not have to feel like they're less than. Rose Jones. Once again, I'm gonna say the same thing. Y'all got to stop picking and choosing. Yeah, this ain't gonna work. Yeah, you can't sit here and say that y'all shouldn't have to feel like y'all less than, but then y'all will come right behind that and tell some man how you don't need him. Yeah, how you think that make him feel?
Right. You said that they're telling somebody that.
No, hold on. Ladies will talk about the fact that they don't need men. They will talk about the fact that these men don't make enough. They outpacing the men. The men need to catch up. They'll tell these men they ain't tall enough. They'll tell these men this. They got all types of negative things that they will tell these men. But then you'll drop a comment and say that the women should not have to feel like they less than. That don't add up. So we got to keep it a buck.
Basically, the energy of the conversation is basically that women need to submit. That's what it is. That women should basically mute ourselves in order to be in a relationship.
Where you get that from? Not at all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
We don't have to leave it be for now.
We gotta stop here.
Nobody say mute yourself.
We gotta stop here. We gotta stop here.
Negativity.
We gotta stop here. We gotta stop here.
Don't put your own tone. Don't put your own filter on nothing that nobody else said on the panel. That's not what we said.
Yeah, no, we gotta.
I did not say I said nobody said that. I said the energy. That is a perception.
That's not the energy that we're putting out. That's your negative energy.
That's perception.
Nobody said that.
That's perception.
Yeah, I got it.
Perception, right? There you go.
I got it. So we got a combination of perception, and we also, we also have a piece of here of essentially
Right.
interpretation. Now, if somebody's not saying that directly, then, like I said, we can't put our own spin. And I said, I'm not putting this, directly to you, Nadia. Let's say, because this is a show. I want everybody to hear this. We can't take what somebody says and then want to put our own spin on it. Like, that's what gets us in a lot of problems. That's what gets us in a lot of issues. Yep. And then at the same time, somebody will say something, we'll put our spin on it, but then we'll come back and say that person don't know how to communicate. Yeah, so some of this stuff we got to stop, but I'm gonna just say this because I got to touch this real quick. Like I said, I got to go back to Rose on this. Like I said, that's not why we here, Rose. Yeah, this is Kandid Konvos. This is a real show. This is not scripted. Ain't nobody got no scripts. We ain't in the background telling each other what to say. We are all different people from different walks of life with different experiences. Yep, and we put this conversation together so that hopefully some of the points and the gems that are dropped in this conversation will help somebody else progress in their situation or essentially affect change on their life. Yep, that is why we're here. Yeah, so we are equal accountability people here. This ain't just calling out women. This ain't just calling out men. We calling out right and wrong. That's why we here. Yes, let me just set that tone and let you know how this gonna go, and we'll leave it at that. But man, shout out to everybody on the panel tonight. Shout out to Nadia. Shout out to Shantae. Shout out to my guy Vince. Shout out to Chloe. Let's say this is Kandid Konvos. We do this show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We go live on Facebook and YouTube, so definitely like, share, and subscribe. So, man, with that being said, we appreciate you joining us for the first time. Nadia, definitely come back and join us.
Come back, please. Hope I ain't scared you away.
Right. Wow. This was a harder time for me because I'm on West Coast time. So I'm at it's 8:30 for me. So I'm just getting off of work usually or coming from the gym as I am today at 5:30. So it's harder.
Oh, I got you. No, we appreciate you hopping on. Like I said, definitely come back and join us. Like I said, you definitely a good value add to the show. So definitely come back and join us again. Well, I said Kandid Konvos every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we will catch you guys on the next show.